They don't think it'd be like it is, Noah, but it do.
But it do.
But it do. You good at baseball, Noah?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried baseball?
I have played T-ball.
Oh my god.
And I wasn't good at it then either, so...
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's one of those things where T-ball is so easy that you couldn't unlock your innate talent for baseball through it because you didn't have to persevere.
Right.
So the next time you come over, we're going to play baseball.
Do we have to?
Well, baseball in this instance is that you stand on the ground and I stand on the second floor and throw things at you. You can bring a bat if you want. I don't care. I have a bat. I'll throw it at you.
Okay.
If you equip the support ability catch, you can get high-level items. It's the only
cool.
It's the only way to farm Chaos Blades.
Hmm.
Unfortunately for you, I don't have any. I'll try to get at least one before you come over.
That'd be good.
My roommate probably has some. He does have a gun cabinet full of shotguns. There's got to be at least one Chaos Blade in there. Tell you what, if I can't find a Chaos Blade, I'll just shoot you.
Infinity! Let's do it.
It's like The Wire. You ever seen The Wire?
I've not watched The Wire. I've wanted to for a while because it's supposed to be really good. But
I haven't watched it out of spite.
Really?
Yeah, well, I'm one of those people that if somebody tells me I have to watch something, I refuse to do it.
I see.
Not really. I just finished watching an anime that you suggested last week. So that's actually not true. I wanted people on the internet to think I was cool and aloof.
I've only gotten through 3 episodes of that. I've been doing a lot of other shit.
Mm-hmm. Does that include pissing me off?
Probably.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as you're putting time aside for it, I can't get too mad.
Yeah.
At least he admits it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I realize that we never. I'm being so informal with this podcast because there might be somebody who this is the first time listening to the TENFENITY podcast and they have no idea who we are. I'd like to think every now and then somebody stumbles across to YouTube, like they accidentally type the wrong series of characters up in the URL bar and end up on this podcast and don't know what it is. So for the sake of those people, I'm going to introduce us, and then when I introduce you to, each of you have to say your super popular catchphrase that everyone likes. So, I'm Ben, I'm the host. With me is Noah.
Man, fuck this.
And Wes.
Fuck that Pokemon.
Those are such well-liked catchphrases.
Well, I don't have a catchphrase, and apparently, according to you, Ben, all I say is that some Pokemon sucks.
You need to, all your videos, Wes, since I'm the only one that watches them, you should pander directly to me. You should interrupt them with little commercial segments like the Pokemon anime, and it just says, fuck that Pokemon! And it could just be any Pokemon, who gives a shit? They're all terrible.
There's gotta be at least 6 good ones.
6 good Pokemon. That's a good name for a movie. Let's think. The 6 good Pokemon are...
Well, obviously the first one is Blastoise.
No, nobody uses Blastoise. People accidentally pick Blastoise or pick Squirtle when they're trying to pick Charmander and they have Parkinson's. It's a terrible tragedy. Michael J. Fox has never finished a Pokemon playthrough. Let's see, 6 Pokemon you can put in a team. There's Executor, obviously. Who else do you want?
Okay, here we go. Charizard, Typhlosion, Blaziken, Infernape, and Pignite.
That's 5. You fucking idiot.
And then Fennekin, or whatever Fennekin's final form is.
Fennekin, Braxian, and fucking
Those are the 6 best Pokemon.
If you had an all-fire team, would one water Pokemon shut you down? Do water Pokemon take damage
No.
from fire attacks at all?
Yes, they do. But I guarantee an all-fire team could beat a water team. In fact, I know it has happened in a mono-type tournament before, because it was one that I was hosting the bracket to, and it was in the finals. It was water versus fire, and fire won.
Was it an unbelievable upset? And you were like, I imagine you hosting this tournament, and you're dressed like the tournament announcer from Dragon Ball, and you're like, oh my god, a sudden upset.
Or the tournament announcer from Yu-Gi-Oh! With the big pointy hair.
Oh
Jesus.
yeah, the attention duelist guy. Or you could be
Attention trainers.
You could be the tournament announcer from Yu Yu Hakusho, which means you're an adorable fox girl. You have to pick one of these, Wes.
Obviously, I'm gonna have to go with anything that is not an adorable fox girl.
Oh, the people, they demand fan service.
Not gonna get it from me. I have no fans to service.
But you're the most kawaii of us.
Am I?
Well, now that we don't have Garrett. Garrett was our eye candy, and he's gone.
Oh God! And you bring me in, Jesus.
Well, you're
You
the
must
same.
be desperate.
You're the same age as him. You know, Rob the Cradle. You know what they say about people in second year of college? I get older, but they stay the same age.
Sure.
They say that. I've heard them say that, and I ran away because I'm pretty sure it was a voice in my head.
Well, then how can you run away from it?
If your feet are running and are further in front of you than your head is, then technically you're running away from them. So I ran like a Ed, and Eddie character, just flaying backwards with my arms flailing.
Jesus. Did you escape the voice?
Yeah, I might have. I don't know. I tripped and fell.
Gotta look over your shoulder.
You don't ever look over your shoulder. Horror movies have taught me if you ever look behind you, you die.
Don't you die if you don't look behind you, though?
No. Well, I meant when you're walking or running or sprinting or jogging.
If horror movies teach you anything, it's not to have sex.
So if you have sex with your head turned backwards, you're fucked. Why do slasher killers hate people having sex so much?
I
think against teen pregnancy. That's all.
Well, I think it actually comes from so the first Friday the 13th. Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah,
because it's Jason's mom is the killer.
Spoilers.
Well, the movie's like 30 years.
Jesus fucking Christ! I had a copy in my hand right now. I was like, guess I'll do this podcast so I can watch this awesome movie I've never seen.
Human.
Oh God. The alien, he appeared so early and unexpected.
We'll see him later.
So she's going around and she's killing all the teenagers having sex because they let her son drown while they were out being teens and having sex.
Well, in their defense, her son was Jason fucking Voorhees.
Well, he wasn't really Jason Voorhees until he drowned and then came back to life.
What, did he get a fucking name change underwater?
Maybe.
Did he drown outside of Ellis Island? And when he came out of the water, they're like, what's your name? And he's like, Jahsun Vahares. And they're like, you're Jason Voorhees now. Open a deli.
Go run a summer camp.
Can white people open delis? I don't think they can. You have to be some ethnicity.
You'd be Italian. That's white.
No, I guess.
Don't say Italians aren't white.
They're bronzed by the Mediterranean sun and all that olive oil. It rains olive oil in Italy. You didn't know that?
Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
That can't be good.
It's delicious. Olive oil is expensive. Whenever you're watching a cooking show and they're like, hey, we're going to make a meal here in about 28 minutes. Delicious, cheap, and easy. First, get out your extra virgin olive oil. And I'm like, well, that's it. I don't know what you're cooking. Even if it's just olive oil in a glass, but it ain't something I'm going to make. They're like, next, get out your black truffles and your saffron. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I got to open a line of credit to cook this meal. He's like, we're going to crack open these Fabergé eggs here and cook them in our solid gold skillet. This cooking show's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's like, next we're going to have to use our stove that's heated by the oil refinery that we personally own. I'm like, damn, this guy, why is this guy running? He must run a cooking show as a hobby because he's some kind of wealthy, what's the word I'm looking for?
Asshole?
Well, yeah, of course. But there's that word that's when you like have a lot of money and you just do whatever you want. It's
eccentric.
Eccentric. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have a lot of money to be eccentric.
That's true. Because I'm poor as shit and I'm probably eccentric. Let's see. Let's bring up eccentricity. Eccentricity.
I would look forward to the moment that asshole ends up on Cutthroat Kitchen because he would get fucked.
Let's see. The first definition of eccentric is of a person or their behavior, unconventional and slightly strange. That probably describes me. The technical definition of a thing, not placed centrally or not having its axis or other part placed centrally. My axis is all fucking skewed. Whenever I rotate, I'm at all kinds of angles. I got like 9 seasons. Imagine if we had 9 seasons. They wouldn't.
Would that, like,
they wouldn't be divided evenly amongst the year. You can't divide 12 by 9. You'd have remainders.
You can, but you'd end up with.
We'd probably have more
dividing it by the day.
Yeah.
The fucking week and.
What would the other
like? March 1st, new season. Next season, April 12th.
And then in the next season, a character dies. So we get 5 more seasons. What would be some good seasons to add?
Smarch.
That's a month, you fucking idiot. A good season. How about a season where there's no humidity in the world?
So the world just dries up?
I love it. Dry season. And then
if there's a dry season, then there's probably a wet season.
Yeah.
Monsoon season.
It's awesome.
And then a guy that comes out and he has like magnetic arms and he's flipping all around the place talking about memes and shit.
And the track Monsoon from the Risk of Rain soundtrack plays all the time. Then there's a season where it's hailing and lightning and storming and tornadoes all the time. Also solar flares and the Aurora Borealis and La Nina and Dia de los Muertos and The Purge.
This sounds like a terrible season.
It only lasts for 15 minutes.
That's 15 minutes too long.
And then the last
15 minutes of hell on Earth.
The last season is it becomes Silent Hill.
Oh God, okay, never mind. That's hell on Earth.
My very good friend who I hang out with all the time, Sean, that's a joke in and of itself, once told me he wished that for 15 minutes every day the world became Silent Hill, and I couldn't get him to adequately explain to me why.
You know what? I think I could stand for that.
Well, if it was Silent Hill for the entire world, would it be that scary? One of the main scary things about Silent Hill is the isolation.
Well, everybody's suddenly isolated, and then they have to face like all their guilt for like 15 minutes each day.
Oh shit!
I think it might help people not quite.
Do you know what kind of psychopaths you would probably develop eventually? Though people would just stop feeling guilty about things eventually, and the people who don't feel guilty about things would use those 15 minutes for terrible things.
But that's the thing, though, is that Silent Hill always makes you feel guilty. Like, there's no getting around it unless you work through your fucking issues.
You put a sociopath in Silent Hill. See how that's the next Silent Hill.
Well, then they get eaten by like whatever the world's boogeyman is.
I don't give a fuck.
I just imagine
there's no boogeyman. They don't have any guilt to create the boogeyman. It's like, whatever.
You say Silent Hill makes everyone feel guilty. I just imagine you wake up in your room, the walls are all rusty and covered in blood, and the floor is a grate, and there's just bottomless fog everywhere. And then there's just a piece of paper on the wall, and written on it in blood is, "You should call your mom sometime." And you're like, oh.
Oh, God. If the fucking Brothers Trousers listen to this, I want to see that as a comic.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Because their incredibly creepy style would work really well, I think.
That's just the Impar who's creepy. Wrongest evens them out. I'm convinced they're the same person. And when they sneeze, they switch between the two.
Wrongesttrousers is their launch all of a sudden.
I wondered if you were going to acknowledge that. Remember all of her scenes in Dragon Ball Z? Good times. Good times.
Well, Wrongesttrousers has that weird kind of like lumpy style, but it can still be pretty creepy.
Not lumpy. He's like, oh my glob. Tenfey asked for some fan art. Oh my glob. Becky, I can't hang out tonight. I got to draw a picture for Noah Coon. That's my lumpy space princess.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. I got a comment from the Impar the other day. He's been listening to the podcast, I guess, in rapid fire because I'm getting comments on all of them. And I think episode 11, the TENFENITY podcast 11, he said Noah wins it. Like he didn't explain why you won that podcast, and he said we might not even know it's a competition, but he said you won that podcast. So congratulations.
Wait, which episode was it?
11.
I have to go figure out which episode 11 is.
Tell you what, I can read.
It's not the last one. It's the one before last.
I'll read the description of it because I put what we talk about in the description. So
I just pulled it up.
Is this the one where I typed? No, it's not. We talked about hats and Doctor Who, LAN parties, Final Fantasy 11, Movement Groove, Phantom Blood, Conqueror's Bad. I don't remember Noah talking during any of this.
I think it's just because I told you to do things and then you did them.
That's true.
So you are speaking of Phantom Blood,
it's not. It's too early.
God! Well, you say that now. It's going to take you the entire podcast to fucking recap Battle Tendency.
I just got an email that said Amy Rose favorited one of my tweets. So she took 1 sec. She took 1 second away from stalking after Sonic to like one of my tweets.
Was it a Sonic-related tweet?
No, it was a tweet at Brett Elston, who's the head of Capcom Unity, the community of Capcom.
Oh,
I get it.
What were we talking about? Did you all introduce yourselves and say your catchphrases?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So what you been up to this week? How's it going? What are you talking about? Who wants to go first? Play Jenkin, Pon, to decide.
No.
Oh, Jesus. We'll go in alphabetical
first,
order.
Wes.
Sure, I'll take the lead. Haven't really done much. Set a dentist appointment for next week, so I get to do that, and then I'll talk about how awful that was on the podcast at some point.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, boy.
Totally. Other than that, I've done jack shit, except for, a couple nights ago when I tried to stream for about 45 minutes and had a series of bleeps and bloops in my commentary the entire time.
Ooh.
So, turns out, streaming from my PS4, my headset does not work with the PS4 for some reason. Something between my headset and the PS4 is not getting along.
Right.
And I haven't had any problems in the, 20 minutes we've been doing this already?
Yeah.
So I have to assume that it's the PS4 and the headset together, or just the PS4.
Yeah, there might be like a coding error or something in there.
It could be that when you stream, you become a 1950s robot.
Oh, that would be quite the negative effect that has suddenly developed.
Bleep bloop, initiate female empowerment video game protocols, initiate Lara Croft getting fucked up, bleep bloop, blop.
So, last Tuesday night after I failed streaming, I was looking at getting a Blue Snowball mic, which you guys obviously use when you're doing videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you know plenty about it. And, pop filter, mic stand, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I know it comes with a little...
It's an adorable little desk stand. I use it sometimes when I'm at my desk, and every time I look at it, I'm like, look at that little fucking stand. That's adorable. That's chibi as fuck.
It was all together going to cost $99.94. But I decided to wait one day to go to Best Buy the next morning and see if I could find anything better.
That's never the right choice.
It was not only a wrong choice. So I get up, I go to Best Buy. Not only did I not find anything useful,
I know that feeling.
but I came home, pulled everything up on Amazon, $115.
They know. When you look at something on Amazon, they run like Wall Street and start yelling and make the price go up, and then Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd buy frozen orange juice concentrate, and then you're ruined.
Are they making napalm?
Maybe. I don't know I've never seen that whole movie.
Oh, okay.
So what happened, Wes? What's the
I ordered everything. The mic stand will be in sometime next week, so I can't stream until I get that, obviously. Unless the USB cord's long enough that I can set the mic like on my laptop or something. But the new mic and pop filter will be in tomorrow at some point, since I just went ahead and got 2-day shipping. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow when I will have a new microphone that is of significantly higher quality.
It's very pretty. It's real big. You feel like you're on old-timey radio when you talk into it.
It's like the size of an 8-ball, like the Magic 8-ball.
It might be
mine is also black, so I can shake the shit out of it and ask it questions.
Mine's
They have all sorts of colors. I'm looking at it right now.
They do. They have like orange and purple and...
They got white,
which
bright orange, brushed aluminum, electric blue, gloss black, hot pink, neon green, and wicked purple.
Do they have transparent purple, which is Nintendo's favorite color?
Is it Nintendo's favorite color?
Everything comes in transparent purple at Nintendo. When he wants to impress and he goes into work, Reggie Fils-Aimé wears a transparent purple suit.
That's...
His body's so ready for it, too.
If that was a darker orange, I probably would have gotten that instead. Like a burnt orange instead of bright.
You ever burn an orange? Can oranges burn?
Yeah.
Prove it.
I don't want to have to get out of my chair right now.
Well, you couldn't actually prove it to me across the internet. Next time you come over, 2 of the things I throw at you when we play baseball will be an orange and a can of lighter fluid, and then you can do it.
Okay.
Anyway, that's been my week, trying to fix my fucking headset microphone and the PS4 to work together and failing miserably. Oh, and that's not even the worst part of everything. I have to play all the way back up to where I was when I started streaming on Tuesday, if I want to still stream through and upload all of Tomb Raider.
I mean, you don't have to play the whole game. I mean, what did we miss? Laura said she could do something and then stabbed a bunch of guys in the dick?
Pretty much.
Sounds like
what we have to look forward to.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, a little dick stabbing never hurt nobody.
It's like I said on Twitter, at least I like the fucking game. If I didn't, I would have just gave up. But I actually like Tomb Raider.
No, I played it. I thought it was pretty good. It's pretty fun.
I didn't play it on the last gen consoles, but it was the first real game I got for my PS4.
Oh yeah, you got the PS4 re-release,
the definitive edition, and it's fucking pretty.
No, yeah, it's really, really nice looking.
It is probably the best looking game so far to come out on PS4, with just like this more realistic art style. Because I know like Transistor's out, I don't know how it looks or anything, but
yeah.
Watch Dogs is not a very pretty game.
So I hear.
Much better on the new current gen, but not a pretty game. I have not beat the second act of that game, which is the longest of the 5 acts. I think the 5th act is 1 mission, but I've done most of the side content. It's more interesting than the story.
Did you play blackjack?
I played poker, but it was not blackjack.
That's how the house gets you.
It was Texas Hold'em, which is actually my game.
You invented Texas Hold'em?
I did. I went back in time and invented Texas Hold'em. 20 years from now, I'm going to go back in time and invent Texas Hold'em.
Oh. Well, by that point, we'll be tired of it.
So, I'll also steal the newest craze and come back to now, the newest crazy card game, and come back to now and give it to myself, and I'll become rich.
You mean Cyber Pogs?
Sure, if that's what's popular in 20 years.
It's going to be so good. They're like regular Pogs, but you play them on the data and web net. You play them on motorcycles.
The worst part is Tuesday, before I found out that my headset and PS4 did not seem to want to work together, I was looking at recording equipment to get for the PS3 or PS2, since I could also use it with the GameCube. And that's not an option now. Don't have the money for that.
Just record. Use a cell phone and point it at the TV screen and use that to record.
Jesus, that's like worse than Dark Side Phil original videos.
Yeah, but
I can't.
I think you could still be above him. Everyone's got to
On a
start somewhere.
commentary level, I guess, but
You could be the new hip sensation that the kids love.
nobody will love me.
Damn.
Well, then. I didn't realize it was that kind of podcast.
I'm gonna say, is this suddenly the Tenfey Sadcast?
No wonder Cher doesn't think you believe in life after love.
This is my OMGX podcast.
It's the Wes Vince podcast. If you want Wes, me and Noah just won't talk for the next 2 hours, and you can just say things to people.
God, no. Though for once this week, I actually did come prepared. I actually have
What?
topics.
You know, I'm strictly against being prepared for the podcast.
These are things I want to talk about for once.
Oh, I'm so
it's all
disappointed.
gaming related.
I'm just sitting here staring at a wall like a fucking idiot. I'm surprised my computer's even
at
on.
your computer screen.
I glance at it sometimes angrily.
When one of us says something that you don't like.
Yeah, so I can see your little picture and be mad at it.
But yeah, that was my week. What about you, Noah?
I have been playing the shit out of the new Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein?
I keep seeing you. You're playing it on PC, aren't you?
Yes. I'm playing like everything on PC now.
I keep seeing your... I saw...
Well, mainly because everything like that's coming out that I kind of want, like, it looks better on like either a current gen console, so PS4 and Xbox One, or it's on PC. And I'm like, I don't really feel like going even more in debt to get like a PS4 or something. So I'm just gonna buy it on the PC and burn out like all of its components as I try to run these super high-end games.
You should dip your computer in oil and liquid nitrogen.
I should disassemble it and put it in a tray of mineral oil so that when it gets hot, I can fry foods.
That sounds
If anyone's
delicious.
interested for the next 12 minutes, by the time anybody else is listening to this, if you were listening to this somehow while we were doing this, then for the next 12 minutes you can still get Sniper Elite V2 for free.
I saw that. I got it for free as well.
Yeah, I got
what,
it yesterday.
Steam?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just go to the Sniper
do it
Elite
now because
page
it
and
goes
just
down in
Such a
12
coincidence.
minutes.
I'm listening to this while we're recording it, which is a good thing.
it's-
Most of the times I don't.
It's until 10 p.m. tonight, so I got it
like 10
yesterday and
minutes.
played it a little bit.
But yeah, I've been playing the shit out of Wolfenstein, the New Order, and it's pretty good. The only issue I have is that there's some weird control things with the PC since I'm using keyboard and mouse that I think if I was using like a controller, it might play a little bit smoother because there's a sprint and like slide mechanic in the game, but just on the default on a keyboard and mouse setup is shift is your run, which that's pretty standard, but control is your crouch, which personally I don't really like control as crouch because it feels really weird, but that's what you have to hit while you're running to do the slide. So it's kind of a pain in the ass to do, but
So did you change it?
I haven't changed it yet because like Z and C are like your alternate fire modes, like they change over. So like I don't want to change those just yet until I figure out what the hell else I'm doing. So it's kind of annoying, and I don't really feel like going through the hassle of that. Otherwise, it's really fun and it looks really nice.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I saw something else you played on Steam as of late was Wolf Among Us, which I think you mentioned a minute ago.
Yeah. I played through the newest episode of Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, episode 4, short as shit.
It felt really short, but
I think I got through it in under an hour.
yeah.
But it was good.
No, I liked it. I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Which
Yeah.
what game did y'all say was free? I can't find a free game on here.
Sniper Elite V2.
Sniper Elite.
I don't think it's in the specials.
It just shows up as $29.99 when I go to its page.
Oh, is it already
Maybe it
over?
already ended.
But you said 10 o'clock. You promised me.
That's what it told me.
I even see a thing.
This is why you need to follow this thing on Twitter that I follow that just updates every time Steam has a new deal.
Oh, I feel you're paying an ice holder, TCC. He left a comment 14 minutes ago that was like, do you think they could have notified that this shit was free? I just found out and it's not anymore. Whatever. I didn't even want to play your stupid sniper game.
I don't know why they did that until 10 p.m. too. Like,
I'm looking at the helpful customer reviews, and the first one is Mumbles recommends this game. I shot a guy's testicles. 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, that's one of the few like Dark Side Phil things I've ever seen when he did those like top 10 things, funniest moments. I did see his Sniper Elite V2 video because I was interested in the game at the time. Just now got it, of course. Yeah, you can. It's when you get the X-ray like death shots, it's amazing.
No. I played the demo for it on the 360 when that first came out, and it seemed kind of interesting. Like the X-ray like Mortal Kombat 9 shit seems pretty cool.
Speaking of Mortal Kombat 9.
Oh yeah, they announced 10.
Oh, you know what? It's 10 a.m., not 10 p.m. That's why I was wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a stupid-ass end time for... Like, I get that it's supposed to be just 24 hours, but then why not start it at midnight and, like, announce it the day before?
By throwing a handful of dust into a fire and saying, submit it for your approval. That's how they should do Steam sales from now on.
But if anybody else has ever had a problem like this where they missed a Steam sale, on Twitter, go to @SteamyDeals and follow them, and they update every time there's a new sale on Steam. It's my advice. That's how I found out.
I see. Listen to this pro tip.
It is. Steam Pro Tips.
Time for Wes's Steam Pro Tips.
That's the theme music. Someone remixed that into a 12-hour dubstep song.
Shit.
I have a new friend on Steam, too.
There are people on Steam?
Apparently.
Who's your new friend that you think is awesome and wish you were hanging out with instead of us?
I wish he was with us, and you will too. It was Black Brain.
Ah.
Which you might know better as a bearded gentleman who...
likes to appears in videos.
On occasion.
Sometimes.
And is back to having a fairly glorious beard. I saw it on Twitter.
He's doing the year of the beard, so he's getting there. We're talking about Levi, by the way, for people who don't know.
For those who don't know.
People are like, who?
Who?
If they don't remember Levi, then I feel bad, and they need to go watch Dead Rising.
They can watch
that fucking video.
It's so good.
Oh yeah, the Tenfey highlight. For the entire length of my channel, I've never had a trailer, like a trailer for people who aren't subscribed that click on the channel. So I made that Frank's Guns the trailer for the
Best
channel.
Choice ever.
And since then, I've gained like 4 subscribers.
That and the Resident Evil highlight are like a coin toss for which one would make a better trailer to your video, your channel. The trailer to my channel is just the first Emerald video.
I see.
It's like, fuck it. You want to see what I do? Here, watch a fucking video, asshole.
You should make it a live action footage video of you juggling those devil sticks. And you could ride one of those skateboards that's like 8 skateboards linked together. That's the thing, isn't it? Did I imagine that?
I don't know. You imagine a lot of things, I believe.
Are they taped together like in a row or in a circle?
They're in a row. It's like 4 or 5 skateboards together.
Yeah, and I think you're making shit up now.
No, it's not. Bulk from Power Rangers had one once. Which is better, Bulk and Skull theme or Groose's theme?
Oh god, I think I'm gonna have to go with Bulk and Skull, mainly because I still haven't played fucking Skyward Sword.
I haven't either.
I haven't, so I don't know Groose's theme at all. I still remember Bulk and Skulls.
Sometime, Noah, me and you should do a blind playthrough of it together.
No.
Oh, then I'll do it by myself, and you could sit outside my room, and I'll just be like, "Oh, I'm having so much fun." Secretly, I'm not, but I want you to be super jealous.
What else have I done this week?
You ran a marathon.
That's a lie.
Oh. You
I got
skydived?
I got a new phone today.
Oh, but you had an iPhone.
I got the newer iPhone.
There's a new iPhone.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you get the
Noah,
solid
why?
gold bling one, son?
No.
Well, tell us
Okay,
about it.
I upgraded to a 5S for like nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
They owed me like $20 to upgrade, so
Yeah, but now they've got you.
Okay.
They got you for another like 18 months. Steve Jobs' ghost is laughing. Just
Is he?
laughing. I hear him right now.
Does this sound like Ashton Kutcher?
Slightly.
Okay.
Tell us what makes the S better. What's the S stand for? Super fucking cool.
I don't know. It's like faster and it's 4G and shit. So I guess that's
Where
cool.
are you going to get
also
4G?
in Moorhead, I think.
Warhead.
LT. Where was I was about to go do something?
Was it loudly type on a keyboard because you mission
Yes.
fucking accomplished?
No, that was the RoboCop gun. That's not what I wanted.
Is that part of the phone? That's amazing. You got a hell of a deal.
No.
Does the phone
but
come out of your leg?
I wish, but now that I have that, I can totally get one of these. I'm about to post it in the.
Are you linking things that the
Favorite-
viewers can't
Favorite
see?
thing for the podcast.
Yep. My favorite action is to just link shit in the podcast, and I tell Ben to link it in the
I won't
fucking
remember.
description, and he doesn't.
Noah linked to a phone case that looks like the iDroid from Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zero. God damn it. That thing. So you want your phone to be more 80s.
Yes. I got this brand new super high tech phone, so I can make it as big as a fucking like early 90s brick phone.
That is the fucking thing that's moving towards now, isn't it, though? Phones were getting smaller and smaller, and now I keep seeing bigger and bigger new phones.
Yeah.
Because people realize they don't
Soon we're going to be
need a
carrying
small
literal
phone.
literal bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody needs a small phone anymore. I mean, who are you trying to impress?
Well, I mean, there's that one Samsung phone that's like a tablet more than a phone, and you just put it up to your face, and it's like you're trying to talk into a book.
It's like a small pad of... It's like bigger than a size of a small pad of paper, like one of those mini pads.
Yeah.
Mini pad.
Random thing I just happened to see while I was checking YouTube. 22 minutes and 21 seconds is the time it takes CinemaSins to get through Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Oh, is that...
I don't want to talk about that fucking movie.
I don't plan on talking about the movie. I'm just saying that there's a video, and if you want to know why that movie is bad, it's probably in that video.
You don't need a reason to know that movie is bad.
I've fucking seen that movie, and it was the worst thing
I
think
so
I've
have
ever done in my
I. It
life.
drove me to drink.
You know, I've never seen that movie.
Don't.
Really fucking
Don't.
bad.
I can't even
Ooh,
joke about somebody
but-
making you watch it.
But what if a light appeared in the night sky, descending towards the earth?
I'd fucking kill that alien if it asked me.
And what if the cold
I would
steel door
stab with a
opened?
screwdriver.
Why does the alien not get an explanation about Dragon Ball Evolution?
It's okay. It's really bad. It is just.
What if Goku was a high school student?
What if Goku was a high school student and Master Roshi wasn't Master Roshi and he lived on an island in the middle of this like super technological city, and like Yamcha's there for some reason, and there's like
Ooh, that's all you got me. I mean, I know the movie's terrible now.
and they're looking for Dragon Balls using DBE meters, Dragon Ball energy meters, Dragon Ball Evolution, DBE.
Get it? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
And there's like Piccolo is there, and he forces Goku to transform into the Uzaru.
Do they
even
call
though
it that?
They call it the Uzaru.
Oh
yeah.
shit! Look at that lore. That attention to detail.
It's,
Yes, that's the one detail
And
they might
then,
have gotten
like,
right.
yeah, and it looks kind of bad. And then, like, in the post-credit sequence, like, this lady is making, like, some soup and tea, and she takes it into, like, this kid's room, and then, like, the kid turns over in bed, and it's Piccolo, like, fully grown Piccolo, just turns over and looks at her, and then it's, like, the end. That scene is in the movie. That's the last scene in the movie. Look it up on YouTube.
What
It's
a
fucking
twist.
ridiculous.
That gets
I didn't even see that.
leaving me on the
Yeah.
edge of my seat. Is there going to be a sequel so I'll know what happens? Does Piccolo
Fuck
eat his
no.
cookies or whatever the fuck she brought into the room? What's Piccolo look like?
Pretty terrible.
Well, I mean,
He looks like a weird alien guy and not a...
weird alien guy, which is what he is.
Well, he doesn't look like a cucumber man.
You mean Slugman?
Yeah, that's it.
What was it Dr. Zero says in DBZ Abridged? He's like, I thought you were a demon. And he's like, nope.
Nope, alien.
Here, I'll link this one.
Ooh, such links.
That's the first picture Google had for me.
He looks like Shizan from Star Trek Nemesis.
Let me see.
I'm glad Noah agreed, I think.
Oh god, I'm looking for fucking footage of this scene because it is the most ridiculous bullshit.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
And the only thing I can find is some stupid guy's like cell phone footage.
He's the only one that bothered. It's the only movie
Well,
that...
he's probably the only person who didn't gouge their eyes out after seeing the movie or drink themselves half to death.
It's the only movie that the copyright holders encourage people to illegally put on YouTube, and nobody will. Speaking of which, and we were talking about Metal Gear, just yesterday I got a notification that I think 5 of our Ground Zeroes playthrough got a copyright claim, and it was like for visual simulators. So I clicked on it. I was like, show me what you're mad about. I figured it'd be a cutscene. It's not. It's the scene where you're flying around in the helicopter shooting rockets. So
What the fuck?
apparently Konami owns the concept of that. Fucking assholes.
Also, you're gonna want to put your speakers on mute because you don't want to hear this fucking guy talk. But watch this fucking scene.
All right, let's see. The mutant speakers. I'll describe it to the viewer like I did last week. Okay, this old woman. This is bad footage. She's walking. She's got a really nice coat on. It's like green. And it's got a nice collar. But she has a bowl, and she's walking through her strange house, and she looks lost. Like she's never been in here before. Now she's walking into a room, and there's like stadium lighting around the room, and there's a figure under a blanket. I presume it to be a child and nothing unexpected. Is she using the bowl to wring out a washcloth? That's what it looks like.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it
Maybe.
looks like. Because that's what you do in anime when someone's injured. Is you put a wet washcloth on your forehead and it heals them.
And bandage
And turn around and it's Shizan from Star Trek Nemesis, and he's like, "I'll get you, Picard." He's like, "Oh, Picard."
Hi, Mom.
That wasn't good. That's all I've seen of that movie, and it wasn't good. I feel
It's probably better than the rest of the movie, so.
That's the only thing you need to see, and that's the easiest way to fucking describe this movie. Is just terrible.
It's not good.
Like even like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z aren't like the best things in the world. Like they're not like deep like, you know, shit. But goddamn, just fuck. That is terrible.
How would you do a Dragon Ball movie then, huh?
I wouldn't.
I'm gonna be that guy on the
wouldn't.
internet that when
People
you criticize,
need to stop trying to make like animes into live action movies.
There's a reason that it's animated.
Yes.
Animation breaks grounds that you can't do otherwise. Now, we're moving more towards where you can with CGI, and it's still not good in a live action setting.
Yeah.
It's still not good. Look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Does that look good to you?
No.
Like, it looked better in the 90s when they were doing fucking costumes.
Yeah.
the original,
Because the
original
CGI is
Ninja Turtles
obviously
movie
CG.
totally holds up. The original one, you can watch it right now and be like, "Look at this movie. Look at Casey
First
Jones."
one's good. First one's
Got
good.
30 seconds.
And then
Second one's goofy, and then the third one's just off the fucking
Let's
walls.
not talk about the third one.
let's.
The third one is not... Dude, I've said it before. I saw all 3 of them on Blu-ray in a Walmart, and I thought about picking up all 3 of them. And then I realized the third one would be burning money, basically. But almost picked up the first 2. Definitely should have gotten the first one. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Nope, it's too late. Whenever you don't purchase something, it's 700%
Disappears
price
forever.
increase. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Just like the Blue Snowball mic and everything. It'll go from $5 to $500.
You did all you could.
Anyway, no. What else have you done this week?
That's really about it.
You watched Dragon Ball Evolution?
No.
That's what I got as well.
Fuck.
You wrote, directed, and starred in Dragon Ball Evolution.
No. I bought Elysium the other day too because I wanted to
haven't seen
rewatch
it yet.
that.
Dust?
It's okay.
An
It's not
Elysium
like
tale?
super great, but it's got some pretty good action scenes.
I am very much a popcorn flick kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, it's really good like through most of it. It's just the very end. It's like, wait, what? This is kind of dumb. Like literally, like the very end. But otherwise, it's pretty good. And I mean, it's done by Neil Blomkamp, the guy who did like District 9 and those
Districts
few
1 through
like
8.
Halo shorts when like I think Halo 3 was coming out.
right.
So he has a good handle on like cool sci-fi, like near future action. So
Near future action, Metal Gear Solid.
and Metal Gear Solid is supposedly moving along as a movie as well, which is
But-
kind of dumb.
It's already a movie.
As
I got him there.
an actual Hollywood movie, like they've actually got a director and shit now.
Is David Hayter Solid Snake? He better be.
No.
He better be.
I don't even think they've announced the cast or anything yet. So
Speaking of directors in Hollywood movies, Ant-Man lost its director.
yeah,
And then I think it got a second one and immediately lost him too.
yeah. Apparently, like the script rewrite that made Edgar Wright leave the Ant-Man movie because like him and his writing buddy were working on it, and then they sent off like their draft to like the guy in charge of the Marvel movie verse, and like they sent back fucking this rewrit like edited script, and they're like nah, and just left. And apparently when the new guy came in, he like saw the same thing and was like nah, and just left. So I have no actual basis for the second part, but it kind of makes sense.
Well, I thought I saw. I mean, I'd have to go back and find the article eventually or something, and I'm not going to right now. So this is all bad memory and stuff. But I thought he got something else that was better, like almost immediately.
I don't doubt it. I mean, are we talking about the new guy or Edgar Wright? Because I mean,
The new guy.
I mean, I'm sure they probably got offered something. I mean, that's kind of the way Hollywood works. That's the way like most industries work. You get offered something, and if you don't think what you got is going to be worth it, might as well just move along. So, plus
So
it's
unfortunate,
Ant-Man.
'cause
Nobody cares about Ant-Man.
I thought it would be a surprisingly good.
I have.
I mean,
And then Edgar Wright left, and I was like,
Yeah.
now your chances are hurting.
Edgar Wright is the main reason I'd want to see that movie.
You ever seen?
Speaking of which,
Oh, God.
it was At World's End or The World's End? Which one was it?
The
World's
World's End.
The World's End. Phenomenal movie with probably hands down the best fight scenes like of last year.
Yeah.
Just by virtue of not having shaky cam. I mean, they're good even if you had shaky cam, but they're so much better for being steady and showing you what's happening. Not, oh, I'm showing you what's happening by flailing the camera. The camera is one
I
of
can
those
understand
wacky.
like some shake, for like impact and like a little bit of like that kind of wobble, but yeah, not like fucking Transformers like can't tell what the fuck is going on shaky cam.
I imagine the way you film
really bad.
The way you film shaky cam is, those setup guys have for steady cam where it's like this big harness mounted thing that looks like the smart gun from Aliens. I imagine the shaky cam version of that is they have one of those on, but it's just got shake weights all over it, and it just shakes the shit out of the poor guy while he's trying to walk around.
Jesus, it's on a fucking gyroscope.
Yeah, he takes the
Someone
thing
just
off.
starts spinning it.
He takes the thing off to go home, and he's just walking, fucking jiggling all around. He can't stop. It's like that. Yeah, it's like an analogy. I'm not going to bother making. It would take too long.
Goddamn.
Point being that really good movie.
What, Ant-Man?
No,
Oh,
The World's End.
Oh, that too. I saw
Yeah.
The World's End. It was good. It was actually good. It was very good.
Yeah.
It weren't bad.
Yeah, I think the Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, Edgar Wright trio is a really good team.
Always solid. And then I think Doctor Strange got a director officially.
Did it? I wasn't aware they even like confirmed the Doctor Strange movie was happening.
I think it's
Like,
still one of those things that's like all behind the scenes. And,
Yeah,
but,
I'm sure it's gonna happen because I know they've dropped a bunch of hints towards Doctor Strange, but I wasn't sure that they had actually said there's going to be a movie or not.
Supposedly they were looking at Scott Derrickson, the guy behind Sinister.
Sinistar? The old arcade game where he's like, I hunger.
I don't... Maybe?
Okay.
But I doubt it.
Oh, well, shit. Why do I even fucking bother?
But yeah, that's Marvel movie news.
That's everyone's favorite segment of the Tenfenity podcast.
But don't take my word for it.
Oh, should we talk about Reading Rainbow?
It's coming back, like, super hardcore.
I can't imagine how they're going to do it. It can't be the exact same format it originally was.
No, it's going to be more like an online kind of, like, application and with, like, videos and shit. Like, it's going to be like a pick-your-own kind of deal.
It's going to be a choose-your-own-adventure? Is there one where LeVar Burton gets transported to 400 years in the future and loses his sight and gets a visor and then becomes the chief engineer on the Enterprise?
I think that's already happened.
That's my favorite.
I will give this version, about as much attention as I gave the original.
Well, that show was gone before anyone even knew that before your parents were born.
What?
Jesus.
No.
I don't actually know when Reading Rainbow ended.
It ended in like 2005 or 2006, I think.
Holy shit. There weren't even books then. That's why they had to
we
stop.
burned them all.
The episode started, it was like butterfly in the sky, etc. And then LeVar Burton just walked out and shrugged and he was like, I'm sorry kids, there are no more books. I'll see y'all later when I appear in a cameo in Community.
We were going to do something with a Clifford the Big Red Dog book, but Christian fundamentalists kicked the fucking door in and
book series
claimed that Clifford was actually Cerberus and served the devil.
Cerberus?
What?
They one head.
You say that, and the thing is that I'm not really sure if you're joking or not, because I could totally see that happening.
It's that law, Poe's law or whatever.
Yeah. Well, just the thing is like, okay, so like
Clifford confirmed for Cerberus.
Yeah. Well, see, Greco-Roman mythology is really weird because like Hades and all that, he's not a bad guy. He just kind of sits there and chills out with a bunch of dead souls, and like the one dickish thing he did is that he stole his wife.
Right.
And then he lets her go back like for 6 months out of the year, which is why we have seasons. But like, yeah. And then Cerberus is just kind of this big 3-headed dog that just kind of chills there and it's like, hey, don't leave.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like nowadays, what's the first thing most people see when they think, when they interact with some version of Hades? It's the fucking Disney film version.
Yeah.
James fucking Woods.
Say fucking James Woods.
What an asshole.
Oh my god, I just noticed something. That the latest Tenfey highlights is the fucking Gravy Train combo.
Really?
Yes.
You just noticed that?
I just noticed that.
Gravy Train won't get you far, son.
Unless
you're trying to get to a hospital.
No, I knocked the mic over in that one.
Oh. What's when you fell out of your chair?
It's the full version of OMG Wesker outtakes.
Oh, okay.
That was never released to the public. Ooh.
I have it on DVD.
You do. You have one of the 3 OMG DVDs.
Fuck you guys. Anyway. I'm one of like 2 people who would honestly want it. Me and Hosier are both just like motherfuckers.
I'm sure Noah will sell you his.
How much you got? I'm coming to Indianapolis in August.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, for, what is it, Gen Con?
Yeah.
What's it called? I gotta see about going. I have a buddy who goes occasionally.
Yeah.
Like, not every year, so I gotta talk to him soon. I think he's gonna start doing videos with me in the fall, too.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Son.
Hopefully.
You'll be so popular on YouTube, and I'll be so envious.
Please. I'd fucking kick somebody out of their house just to do a video with you.
Would it be me out of my house?
kick you out of your house to do a video with you.
It's just a video of you playing a game, and you can hear me muffled yelling through a window. I'm like, oh, yeah, hey, bad son.
No, but hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's just entertaining. That's all that matters. For me and him to do. Like, fuck the internet viewer.
Damn, it's not a good way to become YouTube famous.
Well, if I'm not having fun, how are they possibly going to enjoy it?
You could be Darkside Phil. He's never had fun.
This might be true.
We mentioned
But I
him
don't wanna
on
be
every
Darkside Phil.
fucking podcast.
He's such an easy guy to
that's
take
totally
shots
on
at.
you two. I don't I barely know who this person is, other than he's an annoying Let's Player, and
He's the king of hate. He wears a
He's
cowboy
the
hat.
easiest guy to take shots at. Like, you would think it'd be easier to take shots at, Toby Turner or PewDiePie or the Achievement Hunters or, all these more famous internet personalities, but none are as bad as Phil.
There's always
see.
that chance that he's pulling an Andy Kaufman-esque ruse, and he's actually a genius.
No.
only Andy Kaufman can pull an Andy Kaufman-esque ruse.
I guess that's why they call it that.
Yep. So wait, have we gone over what Ben's done this past week?
Not yet.
Oh, I don't do things. What did I do?
Did you explain battle tendency?
I did. Oh, I did, but I don't have to.
Human.
I don't know. Had I started Tenfey highlights before the last podcast? I don't even remember.
Yeah, you did, because you put up you put one up because I remember telling you that the next one had better be Frank West
Yeah.
and the gun store.
So I started doing that. It's fun. If anyone listening to this has a moment they think would make a good Tenfey highlight, leave a comment or email me or talk to me on Tumblr or something, and I'll go back and watch it. And if it makes me chuckle, then I'll make it a Tenfey highlight.
Pow me.
How have you picked the one? Let's look at the one so far. How have you picked these?
They're
how did you come?
the few of the only moments I actively remember from Tenfey videos.
So the first one was Old King Alon.
and now I can't think of anything.
Like-
but I'm sure there's something I could.
Like Frank's guns from the Dead Rising playthrough, I don't remember a single other moment from the Dead Rising playthrough other than Frank's guns.
Neither do I.
So, yeah.
Neither do I.
That's
No,
really
I
great.
remember one other thing, which was when you were fighting Isabel and she kept trying to run your ass over.
Oh, yeah?
I remember the last fight a little bit and how it just kind of ends with you and what's her face just sitting on top of a tank.
And with the Demon Souls playthrough, well, the main reason I remember the Demon Souls one is because the person who the mysterious wiki updater did on the Tenfey Wiki, tenfey.wikia.com, did like pages on all 8 parts. And at the end of part 8, they jokingly say the Old King Alant or the False King battle can be found on the Tenfey 2013 highlight reel. And I was like, I probably should do highlights, shouldn't I? And then the Tenfey Wiki was never updated again, and I died of sadness.
And there's Leon S. Kennedy's hedge mage.
The hedge mage.
Hedge maze.
He can summon
Hedge
shrubberies.
maze adventure. Jesus, the most
You
powerful.
can open
mages.
doors.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only memorable part of the Resident Evil 4 playthrough.
Well, I mean, it's more memorable than you just playing it safe as shit, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
The Graveyard Train combo, I completely forgot about myself
It
until you uploaded it, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, this fucking fight.
It's rough to watch because that original video is in 240p. And I blew it up to fill the whole thing. So it's hard to look at. It's more you listen to it. Good times.
It's fun though. it's from the OG Tenfey.
Are you gonna?
I'm reading the description of Demon Souls Episode 8 on the wiki. At 31 minutes and 24 seconds, Noah uses the word winkle pickers and no one thinks it's strange.
It's the kind of word you'd say all the time. I don't even give it a second thought. Do you own pointy shoes yet? I still think you should.
I mean, they're not really pointy, but they're pointier than most shoes. I have a new pair of those boots.
Do you hide a knife in them?
I wish. I want a boot knife so bad.
Boot Knife Noah. That could be your nickname.
Shit, that's actually pretty good.
And you could use it for everything. Like when you go in a store and you go to pay and they're like, all right, sir, that's $5.38. You could just slam your foot on the counter and there's just like a bunch of dollar bills stuck on a knife. And you just stare at the cashier while she slowly pulls them off nervously.
Ben plays the game too well and finds himself to be the heel of this show with the audience rooting for Garrett's rigorously trained underling.
Oh,
Don't
Garrett's.
Don't use wrestling terms. My heart's still broken.
Did
they cancel wrestling?
Seth
No.
Rollins?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for the uninformed, this is literally, I'm going to try to time myself out as best I can here, a 30-second explanation. There's this awesome trio of guys called The Shield, made up of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is my favorite. Seth Rollins beat the fuck out of him with a chair on Monday night. The end. My heart broke.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, chairs hurt when you get hit by them.
Yeah, they do.
No, we'll find out, because that's one of the things I'm going to throw at him when we play baseball.
Wait.
If this was a video, I'd want you to just throw a Pokeball at him.
Oh, if only I still had my Burger King gold plate collectibles that came in a big oversized Pokeball.
I'd rather not talk about stuff like that. That makes me sad.
That's one of the most unrealistic aspects of Pokemon, is how the Pokeballs are all little, but when you put it in your hand, it gets big. How the hell do you explain that?
Technology and shit.
It's like these sub-items.
I don't even think... I think it only does that on the show. I don't think it's even implied like that on the...
No, you see, like, jugglers are juggling full-grown Pokeballs. Psychics,
Yeah.
If you
they're
live...
full-grown.
If you lived in the Pokemon world and were a trainer, like everyone has to be because their economy is based around it, how would you wear your 6 Pokeballs? Like on a belt or on a bandolier or just in your pockets and you just fumble around for them? Up your sleeve, like sleeve guns? You got a sleeve Snorlax? A sleeve lax, as they're known?
I would have my ace in my sleeve, literally. My ace Pokemon, my starter in my sleeve.
And you can use it to cheat.
But otherwise,
cards.
I just have them on a belt.
I would probably either do a belt or a bag.
Depending, like, if it's... It also depends on, like, where you are. Like, if you're in Hoenn, you're not going to be running around in a big jacket or something. But if you're in Sinnoh, you'll have that jacket. You can have them on the inside of your jacket. And...
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Where would you keep your badges?
In your little badge, you have a little badge case that you open up, and then Gary's like, "Oh, please, I got all the badges. Smell you later."
No, but like Ash keeps them on the inside of his jacket.
Yeah, well, Ash is a fucking tool that no one likes.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, this is fair.
Have they ever explained in any of the games why you can only have 6 Pokemon?
You're 10 years old, and that's only the amount you can carry.
You have to carry them in your
hand.
Yeah, you just carry them in your arms, and you're like, I can't hold all these Pokemons. How do they go
Walls and shit.
to someone's PC when you've got more than 6 and you catch one?
The instant transference?
So...
Yeah, but how does it not get, like, how do I catch a Pokemon and it go to my PC instead of yours? Like, it's never explained. Bill's a genius. That's how it's explained.
They're so...
Fucking Bill Gates, goddamn.
Is Bill in any of the other games other than the first one?
He's in the second one.
Silver. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Gold and Silver is like the first game, but a little bit different.
Pretty much.
Apparently, they've actually said there's a timeline.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think it's...
Does one of them create it when red fails, and one's created when red goes back in time?
I think Red and Blue and like Ruby and Sapphire happened at the same time.
I think it's like Hoenn, Kanto, Johto.
Frodo.
I don't want to actually say it's Unova, Sinnoh, but that might be flipped. I don't know.
Aren't they based on the actual islands of Japan or something like that?
The first few games are based on like regions and like islands in Japan, yeah. Because like Hoenn, I think is Hokkaido. Johto and Kanto are like 2 different portions of the main island in Japan. I'd have to actually look at the maps to see.
Supposedly, Nintendo or Game Freak or whatever copyrighted the phrase Delta Emerald, which was reported by IGN, so on the internet, so take it with a big grain of salt, but...
I think that's actually the secret kill phrase Reggie will say at E3 if people don't get hype enough for Nintendo, and it kills everyone in the room.
There's not going to be at E3.
Yeah, but Reggie Fils-Aimé will be. You won't see him. He'll be hid.
E3 is coming.
Oh
E3
boy.
is coming.
I can't wait for him to announce a bunch of games I don't care about. I'm so excited.
5 will get you 10 that the Xbox One ends on Halo.
Probably. That was a thing that's happening on Xbox that's really weird. Okay, I pulled up the tweet real quick. It's Red and Blue, are happening at the same time as Ruby and Sapphire. Then it's Gold and Silver happen at the same time as Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And then it's Black and White 2, and XY happens at the same time as Black and White 2. And then
You realize
that's
how
that.
much shit that means is going on at the same time?
Yeah, well, it's like world's full of Pokemon.
At the same time that Team Rocket's trying to take over Johto, you have some guy trying to destroy the entire world.
Yeah, I miss Team Rocket so much.
Giovanni.
Team Rocket was good.
Do you miss
I
Giovanni?
was happy with Aqua and Magma.
Yeah.
Like, they're stupid in a almost innocent way.
Who's in X and Y? I haven't played it enough to know.
Team Flare.
Team Flare?
They're trying to destroy the world, and they're basically Cyrus all over again.
Cyrus?
Trying to destroy the world and remake it as better.
The
The guy from Diamond and Platinum and Pearl.
Oh, I thought it was the knight that died, and then Glenn tries to avenge him after he gets turned into a frog.
That's the Chrono Trigger reference. I get it.
I'm so proud. I win.
But yeah, so as I was saying before I pulled up the Pokemon tweet, so Xbox One, or Xbox just in general, they're doing their own series of programming and shit. Like they're coming out with that Halo series and stuff like that. But they've also optioned a Deadlands TV show for the Xbox. And Deadlands is a tabletop RPG that started in the late 90s and has gone up to now. And it's basically they call it a Weird West game. So it's the Wild West, but there's weird, creepy monsters and shit. Think fucking the half melted dude from Batman.
Jonah
Hex.
Hex.
Yeah. Jonah Hex and Briscoe County Jr. and stuff. And they're making a TV show out of it on the Xbox. I thought that was really, really, really fucking weird.
What if they fooled
Definitely
you
seems
and it's actually
odd.
just based on Wild Wild West starring Will Smith?
Oof.
So wait, they're making a show out of a movie that was based on a show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They'll use it as an excuse to bring back the Wild Wild West Whopper.
I don't remember what that was.
It's every Whopper that's a special Whopper. It just had jalapenos and bacon on it.
Speaking of tabletop games and stuff, though, Noah, you hosted any games lately?
I have not hosted anything yet. This weekend, I'm actually going to be doing some running of stuff. I'm going to be running
The Bulls?
Yes, no. I'm going to be running a playtest of an upcoming Better Angels campaign called No Soul Left Behind. And I actually have this nice binder full of this prototype book.
Is it a Trapper Keeper?
No, it's
With
just a regular
geometric shapes and unicorns on it?
If I could find a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper to have put it in, I totally would have.
Lisa Frank things are hard to look at. It's like
They really
it's
are.
like looking at the geometry from H.P. Lovecraft. It just makes your head hurt.
Yeah, they're weird cyclopean images, and you can't look at them too long, or else your eyes will melt your skull.
Are girls really attracted to those colors? Is there some psychology behind that?
I don't know. It's yeah.
They should get Lauren Faust to redesign those Trapper Keepers for the modern age.
That'd be cool. I like Lauren Bell. She's really rad. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be running hopefully this weekend, and I hope it goes well. Better Angels, by the way, is a tabletop game about superheroes, namely, more correctly, supervillains, and why supervillains in comics suck ass so much. And the reason is that they are possessed by demons, and the demons use their evil deeds to drag them to hell. So the supervillains have to be bad people, but they have to be shitty at being bad people so that they don't get dragged to hell.
That's so confusing. That's like something I'd make up. Did I make this game up?
No.
Are you sure? Open the back of it, and it'll be like about the author, and it's just a big picture of me with a shitting grin, wearing a "Hey Noah, it was me all along" T-shirt.
But it's really good, and I highly recommend it. It's really funny too. The guy that wrote it, Greg Stolze, he is a really good writer, and it's also got a pretty easy system to use, because all it is you take a handful of D10s, up to 10 of them,
and throw them at people that you don't like.
Yes.
It's my favorite game.
Or rather, the table. You throw them at the table so you can get numbers. And the way it works is you roll your D10s, and then if you get matching sets, you do stuff. Like, you win.
I think you just described craps. Are you hosting an illegal casino and you made up that it's role playing?
Ben, I need you to shut up. This is going to go onto the internet, and I don't need this on my record.
Damn.
Oh, that's fun. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What other news is there out there?
Sailor Moon's coming back.
We talked about that last time, I think.
But there's an actual trailer now.
Oh.
Yep. First trailer came
Sailor
out
Moon
today or yesterday or
Sailor Moon Evolution.
No, shut up.
Oh god, that same woman walks across the hall from Piccolo, and then in the bed, the blanket pulls back, and it's Queen Beryl.
It's just the other bed in the room that you don't see.
Yes. Good times. And then in the third bed is a piece of the Iron Giant.
Oh, the Iron Giant. Have you ever mentioned how much I fucking love the Iron Giant?
Everybody loves the Iron Giant.
It's fucking Brad Bird and shit, and he's great.
He really is. I'm glad that he stopped playing basketball professionally so he can make that movie.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that he's going to be making The Incredibles too.
It's one of my favorite reaction gifs on the internet when somebody posts something is you post the artist guy from the Iron Giant just pouring his coffee out and turning around and walking away.
Hug. Hogarth Hughes. Hug.
What kind of name is Hogarth? That is weird.
It's a great name is what it is.
He has like a BB gun blunderbuss with a flashlight taped to it.
Yeah. And the brain escapes out of the jar. Is going to get that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then Vin Diesel is a giant metal man. And he does a cannonball.
And a deer dies.
And Bambi's mom dies.
Is the Iron Giant canon to Bambi?
I don't know. Like, nobody knows when Bambi takes place other than people had guns.
I see. So it's ancient China.
Yeah. Does anybody remember like what happens during Bambi other than like his mom gets shot?
Let's see. No. Bambi. Human, explain to me these Bambis. Bambi's born and he can't walk right, and then he can walk slightly, and then he meets Thumper the rabbit and Flower the skunk, and then his mom gets shot, and there's some quails and they get shot too. And I think at one point he meets his dad, and his dad's just like, "Get the fuck out of here." And then he like falls in love and has a kid, and then I presume he gets shot too and keeps the cycle going. The Bambi cycle. The Bambi. Samus shows up at the end and just keeps going, the Bambi.
Well, because I remember there's like a fire. There's like a forest fire or something.
Are you sure?
I thought there was. Maybe
and
I'm
Smokey the Bear jumps out and scoops Bambi up in his arms, and it turns out his mother was alive the whole time.
Yeah. So I wonder how many people remember that Bambi is a guy. Like, he's a male deer.
Towards the end of the movie, he has antlers.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, he's like mature and everything.
I think that, I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't remember ever seeing the movie in full, but even I remember that Bambi's a dude.
Yeah, I've never thought of Bambi as being female. At least not outside of my fan fictions.
Oh, Jesus.
My Rule 63 Bambi universe. Speaking of the Iron Giant, what studio is that like part of?
Iron Giant? Let me look it up. But I know, I want to say it was just like Columbia TriStar?
British Columbia?
No, it was Warner Brothers.
Really?
That was a Warner Brothers feature.
I can't think of any other animated things that look like the Iron Giant.
If you watch it really closely, like if you watch that and then you watch like namely The Incredibles, there might be like one or two other movies by Brad Bird, but he tends to have like that kind of style.
What if it was by Bruce Timm, and so Hogarth and the Giant and the hippie all had giant torsos and tiny waists? I really don't like that art style.
No,
it's one of the saddest things about the Batman the Animated Series, which is fucking amazing. But when they do the revamp of it into that new art style, it's so much worse.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Mario Kart 8 came out.
Oh,
yep.
The only thing that matters is fucking stoic, angry Luigi, because it's the greatest thing.
Luigi is pissed.
It's the greatest thing of all time.
I love it.
Have you seen?
I don't even have a Wii U, but I love the videos that have come out.
I'm probably gonna be getting it tomorrow.
Let me find the GIF I saw, and hopefully neither of you have seen it yet, because I want to hear your reaction to it, because it's fucking amazing.
I want to say 2 of them, but I don't want to ruin it in case Wes hasn't seen it.
All right, let me find it.
Let's just let Ben get this one out of the way, and then we'll talk about some others and some videos and stuff. This was the first thing on my list that I wanted to bring up, because I am a huge fan of Luigi.
Oh, I fucking love Luigi. I have a Luigi costume.
Luigi's awesome.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, Luigi is the better brother.
If I needed another 300 Nintendo coins, whatever, to get Luigi's Mansion statue before, and then they fucking ran out, and I was so pissed.
I fucking hate Club Nintendo and all that stupid bullshit.
I never even look at it.
Like, it's your coins expire, and it's impossible to register shit. It's just a fucking nightmare. It's too Japanese is the problem.
Yeah. I did get Super Metroid for my Wii U the other day because of that. Because I gotta use my points before they fucking expire.
Mine are probably gone, and I didn't even realize it.
I think they expire in July? They do there's a weird cycle to it.
Mm.
Let me see what else I can get.
I don't think I have very many points anyways, so I'd probably get some stickers or something, I don't know. Well, while Ben searches the internets for this GIF...
Yeah, I'm still trying to find it. It's so hidden in my Twitter feed. Considering I follow 4 people, I don't know how that happened.
Do you guys mind if I bring us down a little bit?
Uh-oh.
Well, it's down and also sideways because the story is retarded. It's the dumbest news story that I could possibly bring to you.
I see. Well, as long as it's adequately retarded.
How is Slenderman inspiring 2, I think, 12-year-olds to stab another young girl?
But Slenderman never stabs people.
No.
Slenderman doesn't do anything. In fact, if you play the game, you just run and cry because Slenderman is after you.
Yeah, no, it's... People saying that Slenderman is involved is the most dumb bullshit I think I've ever heard.
I feel like one of those girls is a psychopath who just came up with that as an excuse and used it to threaten her friend into joining her.
That's not
I want
an actual
that to be
excuse.
the turnout of the story, because...
And even if that is, a part, quote-unquote, of the reason that she did it, that's not the important part here. It's the fact that the fucking 12-year-old stabs somebody else.
19 times.
Yeah.
Good news is that when I saw the story first break online, the victim was not in critical condition. She was recovering in the hospital. It was... a friend of mine said that they were very close to a major artery, but they did miss it, and she should recover from as long as nothing goes wrong.
Yeah. Science is fucking great, yo.
But, the idea that Slenderman, who doesn't actually do anything, was supposedly going to come after their family is just... it just seems a little too odd to me.
Yeah. It's... I just don't.
But do you not even?
Yeah. And just talking about, stupid creepypasta. Slenderman's okay. Like the game and everything is pretty neat, and it's a good example of like, just sort of like group created like creepypasta and shit, but it's not the greatest shit in the world.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's a really low standard for creepypasta. Like, there's some really shitty creepypasta out there.
Oh yeah. Should I?
Like, what's one of the big famous ones with the dude with the face that punches a guy to death?
Jeff the Killer.
Yes, that's retarded.
The Eccentrics did that as part of their
they did.
whole thing.
They did a bunch of those, and I think the only one that was even remotely close to being creepy was the one with like the red eyes.
Yeah, that was
not that great.
Spooky. I was slightly spooked.
Yeah.
Is it? It's Tales from the Hole.
I think that's what it was called.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
You should search for that on YouTube. I'm going to do that right now and see if that's actually what comes up.
I think for creepypasta, there's an even lower standard among video game based creepypasta.
Yeah. Like, I know theimpar went on a whole big thing about it at one point.
But the game, it was just a glitch or something, but it had hyper-realistic blood.
Hyper-realistic blood. This is really weird. I looked for... So for Stardust Crusaders, the newest part of JoJo's, they're releasing some new Converse that are like Jotaro Kujo like inspired, and I went to go look for them to see how much they were gonna be, and now there's an ad for them like due to like Google Ads in my YouTube page. So I'm just seeing this weird Japanese ad while I'm looking for the Impars or the brothers.
I finally found the GIF.
Trousers.
I finally found the GIF. I linked it to you too.
This one I have not seen before. Jesus.
It's so good.
So tell the viewers what you're witnessing.
Okay, so it's the scene of fucking Sarah Connor in Terminator 2 escaping the asylum when the Terminator comes around the corner and she like loses her shit and is like, no, and tries to like run away, but instead of fucking Lyndall Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's who, Wes?
Jesus. It is Stone Cold Luigi and fucking Rosalina.
So
and
good.
Rosalina is losing her shit.
They went the extra mile and actually have Luigi's head and eyes turn in real time as Arnold's body is walking out with his head on it, instead of it just being a static image. It's actually it's super well made.
They managed to get just the right angles.
Really great. Oh man, I love that face. There's been so many little videos. Like I've seen a video of Luigi taking out baby Luigi.
Yeah.
I saw one in a compilation video where he's coming up on Mario, and I don't know if it's the AI or somebody playing Mario or what, but Mario just gets this little, like, almost a little hint of fright, and then like backs off as Luigi goes past him. And it's just like, yeah, that's right, bitch.
It's stories from the hole. And yeah, they actually have an episode on White with Red, The Bad Dream, and Jeff the Killer, and Deus Ex Human Revolution, The Last Stand, and King of the Hill Lost episode.
Oh god, the one where Hank like kills Peggy because of propane or something.
Yeah.
And he's
I
like,
saw a picture the other day of something you guys probably have seen and liked, which was King of the Hill and Attack on Titan crossover.
oh yeah, Attack on Hill is fucking amazing.
Kill the Hill.
That one's pretty good too.
Okay, should I get the Animal Crossing New Leaf 2 poster set, or the Animal Crossing 3DS pouch, or I don't want the fucking Mario 3DS pouch.
Get the Mario hat.
No, what?
Get the extended magic hand.
Grill off with extra hand?
Yeah.
With ultra hand?
Get a Wii U to prop your door open with.
No.
That should be one of the things on the Nintendo store. It's like 6,000 coins, Wii U doorstop, and in the parentheses it says is an actual functioning Wii U.
Yeah. And the only other thing I had that I would bother to mention was that Mortal Kombat X has a trailer out now, and I guess that makes it announced.
Yep. I think they said that they're gonna be showing like actual gameplay footage at E3. So
that trailer is confirmed CGI.
I don't know if they've
mix.
said or not. I don't think it's full on because it looks a little too nice.
Yeah.
I think they're going for like some concept, like what they want to do, like
Right.
Like watermark kind of shit. But I don't think it's gonna look quite that nice in motion.
But the biggest thing I've seen coming out of that was people arguing about the song they used. They used some song from Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
And it fits.
Yeah,
But I actually watched back to back that version and a version using the Mortal Kombat theme, like the original, and
oh yeah, the techno like.
Yeah, like, and if you would put in the the noises that Scorpion and Sub-Zero would make when they're fighting and the bone cracking and stuff with the original theme song, I think it would have probably sounded better. But
it's whatever.
It was a cool trailer.
Yeah, it's a trailer. It's not like it's the final game, so...
Yeah, it's not like that song's playing in the background of every match.
Yeah.
That would be insanely annoying.
Yeah.
And of course, Scorpion wins, lol.
Yeah. I'm just, I've never been too big into Mortal Kombat. I think the most I've ever done is just kind of like read like wikis and watch, the two best friends watch
the two
Mortal
best
Kombat
friends play Mortal Kombat.
play Mortal Kombat. Like I watched them watch all those stupid CG things from the story mode in the last one.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if they're actually going to continue off of that or if they're going to fully reset the universe or some combination of either.
Wasn't that what they were doing with 9 anyway? So.
Well, yeah, with 9 they reset everything and kill 90% of the characters by the end.
Yeah, it's like we brought everything back and destroyed most of it.
Yeah, because it's the newest Mortal Kombat 9. They it resets from the Mortal Kombat Armageddon or whatever it is. And they go through most of the core Mortal Kombat games, so I think 1 through 3, and then at the very end, like I said, 80 to 90% of the characters are dead, and there's still some nods to other shit happening, but whether or not they're actually going to continue off of it or not remains to be seen. I think Ed Boon has said they wanted to reset the universe a couple of times, but
I expect them to pick up where they left off at the end.
Yeah.
But I guess that's one of those things where it's there's no reason to end it with something and then just completely abandon it a few years later, which happens all the fucking time. So I'm not a big fighting game player in general. I rarely ever played Mortal Kombat, but I gotta give it up to Mortal Kombat for having a story mode.
Yeah.
It's always cool to see a story mode in fighting games.
Fucking
when they're done well enough.
Soulnado is one of the greatest terms I've ever heard. A fucking soul tornado. Soulnado.
But is it more epic, quote unquote, than Sharknado?
Yes, it is. It's fucking souls. It's the souls of the damned.
Sharknado 2.
Why?
Coming to
of all the
sci-fi near you.
of all those terrible sci-fi movies, why did Sharknado become?
Because it was a thing on Twitter.
I see.
Yeah.
It literally got noticed on social media, and that made the first one fairly successful, I guess. It was seen by people, and Sci-Fi was like, well, shit, let's capitalize on that and make a sequel. Kurt Angle is supposed to be in the sequel.
That's really weird.
It's kind of odd, yeah.
I was browsing through the documentaries on Netflix, and I saw that there was one about Mankind.
Mm-hmm. I have that on Blu-ray because it came with a Mr. Sacco.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they're putting up a lot of that kind of stuff on the WWE Network.
Yeah.
Under a show called Beyond the Ring. So they've done a few good ones. I think the last one they put up, I think they put one up every Saturday, and I think last week's was Chris Jericho from his 2010 DVD.
Something I found out that I really should have realized earlier, and I've probably heard it before but didn't really think about it. So, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's a character called the Boulder. And he is an earthbending, like, wrestling fighter character.
A wrestling fighter. That sounds diverse.
Yep. And he's very much a pastiche of The Rock, obviously.
Isn't that pasta sauce you make that's green?
Pastiche?
Yeah.
That's pesto.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of that guy that was in Home Alone, but keep going.
So it turns out the Boulder is voiced by Mick Foley. And I did not realize it until like a couple days ago.
Wow, I'm gonna have to go back and look up.
Yeah, if you go back and you listen to it, you can definitely hear it. And if you think about like Rock's and Foley's like history,
right?
It kind of makes sense.
Connection. Like if they were gonna do anybody, it would make sense to be Foley.
Yeah.
I like to think the way you said you realized that wasn't you just happened to read it on the internet. It was you just sat up from a dead sleep in the middle of the night sweating, and you were like, "The Boulder is totally Nick Foley."
Who says I didn't?
That's the way it happened. I believe
I sat up in the middle of the night, and my lizard was just sitting there, like staring at me through the cage or through the glass.
Oh yeah, how is Ichigo the lizard doing?
Diego is doing fine. I think he's sleeping in his little rock cave thing.
Rock cave. Does he have the flash TM so he could see, or HM? Excuse me.
No.
Well, then he ain't never gonna get out of that fucking place.
Yeah, I need to clean out his cage tomorrow. How's
Renji? He better be in the house.
He's outside. He was inside earlier.
Why is he never allowed in your house though? And your heart?
He's a busy cat. He's got things to do.
You should have a court.
Bada bing. Hey.
You should have a courtyard in the middle of your house so he can go there and pretend to be outside. I'll come over and help you do it. By that mean I'll get on your roof and fall through it comically.
I see.
So we got a lot planned.
Sounds like fun.
Should I talk about what I did this week, or should we talk about wrestling and Slender Man and Mario Kart?
I thought that's what we were doing. I thought we were trying to get you. I asked you if you had done anything.
I said I made Tenfey highlights, and then you two fucking took off. Became the Noah West Best Bros for Life podcast, and in parentheses says featuring Ben sometimes. I was just going to mention my friend Luther, who I haven't interacted with in like 2 years, came over randomly. Well, I mean, I invited him, but it was just very random. And I was like, let's do a video. What should I play? And he said Resident Evil Code Veronica. And like I was comically drinking a drink that I spit out. And I was like, okay, sure. How bad could it be? I'd forgotten about Code Veronica. It's not good.
Is that Luther's debut on the channel?
Yeah, because, I mean, it's the only time he's ever been around me since I've been doing this shit. Well,
because I felt so bad at first not being able to pin who exactly was in that fucking video with you.
Oh, really?
I was like, who the fuck is that, and why can't I point it out immediately? It's like, that's not Sean. He hasn't said whatever gay.
I don't...
Obviously, it's not Hosier. He's halfway across the fucking country.
Yeah, I might not have actually said his name, now that I think about it.
I don't think you did in the first video. I don't think it comes up at all. I haven't watched the second one yet.
I got enough footage for like 7 episodes, and he said he'll come over again and we'll finish it, but Tenfinities are infamous for not being finished for various reasons. So maybe. It's a strange playthrough of a bad game, so don't have your expectations up. It's very different from other Tenfinities.
You guys have to go back in October and finish Undead Nightmare.
Oh god, that's done.
No, okay. I personally do not want to go back and do Undead Nightmare because there's some weird shit at the end and like that last episode where like I just all of a sudden lose like 2 towns without any warning, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It seems like a bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
At least that design choice.
Well, see, normally it's like it'll give you like a warning. It'll say, hey, this town is under attack, and it gives you some time to go and do it. But then like I just warped one place, and all of a sudden I lost this town, and I've never had that happen before, and it really put a bad taste in my mouth.
I can't blame you at all.
So,
what you need to do is play any, like, we need the return of a certain man in a hoodie.
Oh, God. I've talked to Noah about that shit before. I don't know how it could possibly be brought back. The first one...
The only thing I could imagine...
Yeah?
The only thing I could possibly imagine is to have the man in the hoodie return, and this time he antagonizes Noah.
If I could ever find him. It's just that the first Spooky Video Game Madness, it ends with such definitive ending. It doesn't have a cliffhanger. I mean, for Christ's sake, I beat the Tofu Survivor. Where can you go from there? I blew my load too early. That was actually my 3rd attempt, by the way. I don't know, a little Tenfey pop-up fun fact. The Tofu playthrough you see in that video is I sat down and just was like, okay, I got to beat Tofu. So I did it once and died. Immediately restarted, did it again and died. Immediately restarted, and then beat it the 3rd time. So my excitement at the end of that is genuine. Because I was fucking exhausted. And then I had to... Well, then that guy had to come in and put a hoodie on and talk, and the room was very hot, and there were candles that smelled like pumpkin pie, and he wanted to eat them.
I wish I had something to record for the PS3, because tomorrow I am getting Resident Evil 4 on the PS3.
The somewhat HD version?
I don't care.
Like the HD edition, but not like the HD Ultimate PC edition. With special high-res Leon Scott Kennedy jacket.
Oh man! Somebody, let me look up who it was. It's a person that at least comment on my videos. They have Tails as their icon, but I'm bad at remembering names. Is
that the person that was leaving all the Devil May Cry 4?
No, it's a different person, but they linked me to a thing for the Ocarina cheat engine for like homebrewed Wiis. That's supposedly a cheat that makes it adds the code of the Resident Evil 4 for Wii and makes it where Leon keeps his jacket the whole game. And I was super fucking hyped, but I can't get that shit to work. Like homebrew Wii. Oh, it's AxielAssassin. He linked it in the last or the episode 11 of the podcast. I've tried several different methods. They all just make the Wii lock up. So I was very sad because I want to play Resident Evil 4 and keep that jacket the whole game more than anything. I would pay extra for DLC to keep that goddamn jacket on.
I have never once even unlocked the armor for Ashley. I will probably do that on PS3. That'll be one of my goals, and then I'll play through it on New Game Plus with the armored Ashley.
It's much easier with armored Ashley.
It sounds like you can completely break the game. In fact, I was watching Rooster Teeth animated adventure bullshit.
Yeah.
And in one of them, the Rage Quit guy, Michael, talks about how you just send her into the middle of the area and go and hide while everyone goes after her, and then you just come and stab them while they're on the ground.
Plus, Leon's a smooth criminal when you use that outfit.
He is. Sounds like so much fun.
What's the other outfit? It's his old
police. That's actually, well, other than jacket, Leon, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, RCPD.
Why have they got to take that fucking... Why is that jacket not a goddamn unlockable? I did find out in later versions you can actually, if you hold certain buttons down when picking Leon for the Mercenaries mode, you can play as him with the jacket in the Mercenaries.
Oh, really?
Remember that time we did the Mercenaries for Tenfinity?
Yeah, it went really, really badly.
Did it?
Yeah, it didn't go great. At least not for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But
and Sean was there.
I was like, how... I don't know, like maybe 5 years out of practice for the Mercenaries.
You were playing as Wesker too, the most broken character.
It's true, but like I haven't like when I first got Resident Evil 4, me and a friend of mine from like down the street, just like I played through the game and then we just sat there and played like Mercenaries, like fucking hardcore, and we got like I think the top rankings for each character in each area. It was fucking rad.
My friend and I barely ever touched Mercenaries. We just kept playing the game over and over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, Code Veronica. My friend James, who people might remember from the Binding of Isaac stream video, came over. We recorded one video that's just a one shot by itself. That'll go up this week. But we also started another series that was going to be solid fucking 24 karat gold. But my fucking computer crashed while we were recording it, and I can't. I tried to get the audio back, but I couldn't. So it'll probably just be canceled forever.
Yeah, you told me about that. Said you were trying to piece it together in 5-second segments.
Yeah, that's the way Audacity does when your audio thing crashes and it can't recover. It saves its temporary files are saved in little 5-second increments that you have to paste back together. And it's a huge pain in the ass because it doesn't name them in like alphabetical or numerical order. It just gives them random fucking names. And it's just a fucking nightmare. I need a better recording program.
There's no way you could possibly recover with that. You'd have to listen to every...
Well, I sorted them by date of creation, and it put them in the correct order, and I was just dragging them into Audacity one at a time and pasting them together. And eventually, I just realized that like chunks of it were missing and stuff, and I was like, this is just going forever. And it was so fucking great. Are you
guys going to possibly try to redo it?
We could. It would never be as good. I'll go ahead and say the game we played, it was one James had never heard of. So I was getting, his reactions to it were fucking amazing. But we played Deadly Premonition.
See, I wasn't going to ask what the game was if you said that you might try to do it again.
But no,
I totally understand why you wouldn't bother when it was his...
it was it was a 30 minutes. It was just me playing through the prologue up until like the first day of the investigation where you wake up at the hotel and FK is in the coffee and all that shit. But it's just so sad because his reaction to everything was just so fucking genuine and amazing.
It's one of those things where if you decide to do it again, you're writing entirely on, I get through this first, prologue, and then we get back to that gold of him being completely blind. And see what other amazing things can come up that will just
could you do like just like a commentary over top of like the first episode and then just pick it up from there?
We could. I have the footage, but it's pointless without, because he's just, it was so fucking amazing, dude. I was so genuinely happy playing that game with him and him just sitting there dumbstruck at the shit coming out of Francis York Morgan's mouth and the situation he found himself in. And I remember he was so upset that all your melee weapons break after 2 hits, but your pistol has infinite ammo.
Yeah.
Shit like that. It was just fucking gold. Maybe if I can get him over here again, I'll pick another game he's never heard of that would be gold. Like Indigo Prophecy.
Jesus.
I'd say give it a shot with like doing a commentary for the first one and just continuing after.
We could just, since it's only 30 minutes, I could just start over and I would beat the first area quicker. I did get stuck at one point like an idiot because I forgot to shoot a lock off of a door.
Yeah.
And there is the whole rest of the game for him to react to because it doesn't.
Yeah. It's like there's a lot more than just FK in the coffee.
Yeah.
I was even practicing before he came over on my main file. I was like, I got to practice on how to get the radio from George and the wrench from Quint. It's not simple. You read a walkthrough of that game, and the guy writing a walkthrough is just his mind is not there anymore because that game is so fucking confusing.
Do good written walkthroughs exist on the internet?
That depends on who writes them. Yeah.
I feel like every time it's like anytime I've seen one that's good, it's never finished.
Well, yeah, and they're full of ASCII art and the writer's fucking opinions. I don't remember what game it was a FAQ for on GameFAQs. But I remember being so upset because the fact creator was saying some part of a game involved you like waiting for 15 minutes to do something for something to respawn or something like that. And in parentheses, he said, I suggest killing the time by playing the excellent Monster Hunter 3 on PSP. And I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. This ain't goddamn editorial. Get out of here. But
Ben, you can hunt the monsters for the third time.
One of my favorite JonTron jokes, I don't remember which video it's from, is where he's talking about pulling up a FAQ on GameFAQs, and he's like, just look for the one with the biggest file size, and oh, look, they drew a picture out of bells and whistles, and it's like Ocarina ASCII art or something like that. Oh, his newest episode about Beat Takeshi's Challenge was fucking beautiful.
I love Beat Takeshi.
You should I know you're not a JonTron fan, but you should watch that episode of JonTron. It's really good.
Like, JonTron's okay. Like, he's not like my favorite guy in the world, but he does have some funny stuff.
Oh, he tickles the shit out of me. So.
I think he's probably better off without like the whole Game Grumps thing.
Yeah. He got out of there, and God bless him for it.
I'm subscribed to him. I'll occasionally click on his channel and watch some stuff.
Oh, every now and then I just sit and binge on his videos. They're fucking beautiful, son.
That's what I'm doing with Rooster Teeth animated, because there's not that many of them, and they're not that long.
Nah, yeah, they're like a minute long.
I'm through 4/5 of them.
You should watch all of my animated adventures. You get through it real quick.
Hey, it's a really good one. In context, it's hilarious. Out of context,
I should just repost that as a Tenfey highlight, or the segment from the actual Pokemon playthrough. I can't think of anything from the Pokemon playthrough that would make a good Tenfey highlight.
Just the animated version.
Like I'm trying to think of some ones, but it's really hard to just kind of pull one out of the ether. Like, I'd have to actually go. And, like,
maybe I'll make the next one John Marston's Last Stand.
Oh God!
That's what I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna name it John.
Even
Marston.
I didn't go there. Ben, I do have another one for you though.
I think I know why Garrett left.
I've actually got a Garrett-based one.
Oh.
Garrett getting through that footballer room.
You know what you should do? You should put the fucking, like, just make it an hour long and just repost the fucking last parts of Mega Man 8.
Oh, the Mega Man.
I
was getting pissed off, and then Garrett finally beating it with the
Mega Man
Vine.
8 would make a good Tenfey highlight. Let's see, what else I do? I watch movies. That's become like a thing on the podcast. I talk about movies I watched. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? So, I watched, they're kind of related movies. Netflix said they were related because it suggested one after the other. So first, I watched a little feel-good film of the year, American Psycho.
Yeah.
Confusing as shit. I still don't quite know what was going on in it.
I fucking love that movie.
Like,
it's just so fucking nuts. I love it.
A key part of the movie is when he just is walking down the street and two cop cars pulls up and he just blindly fires a handgun at him and they both explode. And he just looks so confused.
He looks at the gun really confused.
That's right after he tried to feed a kitten to an ATM.
Yeah. Spoilers, this is kind of late in the movie.
Yeah, well, it's American Psycho. I mean, what do you fucking expect?
I'm getting reservations at Dorsia now, you fucking idiot.
I do love his dance during the check out my dubs scene.
Yeah.
The Hip to Be Squared dance.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that, and then Netflix suggested, and I watched Paranoia. Have you heard about this? Have you seen this?
Paranoia?
A guy works at like a tech company and gets fired, but then his boss, his former boss, blackmails him into getting hired at that boss's former mentor's.
Oh, the one with Thor's little brother.
Yeah. The most entertaining part of that movie is seeing Harrison Ford with a shaved head.
Harrison Ford.
He's so old.
I love Harrison Ford, but
now,
after a certain point in time,
he's become Harrison Bored.
Yeah, he doesn't have it in him anymore. He seems like the tiredest old man.
Who has that in them? Who has it in them less, Harrison Ford or Bruce Willis? Or you right now after I asked that question.
I think it might be me because both of them are they're both really good actors, and they actually have a lot wider breadth than like you'd think. But it's just a shame. They're both really old. They just don't have it in them anymore, and they're still in movies, and it's kind of sad. And the only thing is that I hope Harrison can like muster the last of his energy. I'll raise my hand in the sky and give him my spirit.
Oh God!
So that he can make an acting spirit bomb and pull out
Harrison Ford's
episode 7
acting giving,
and then just die in the movie.
Just on screen like the Crow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
somebody goes to shoot him with a
and
blaster, and it accidentally has rocks in it, and it kills him.
It's actually a laser cannon.
They're like, who gave him a real
aren't
laser gun?
No, aren't you looking forward to the next 3 million Die Hard movies?
I think they said he's only gonna be in one more, and then they might they'll put it on like his son or whatever. But I don't care.
Supposedly the next one's supposed to play off of the first one, and that's the only reason it could possibly be passable.
No.
Did you know the first Die Hard was originally written as a movie for Frank Sinatra? Wasn't that on the comedy button?
Yes.
Yes, I think that was.
Okay. I felt so smart, and then I was like, wait, that was on a podcast I listened to this week.
The original Die Hard is still the only one that's...
I scrolled down to the bottom of the Wikipedia page for Paranoia, and it says films directed by Robert Lukatic. And it's all starting from the right, going backwards. There's Paranoia, Killers, The Ugly Truth, 21, Monster-in-Law, Win a Date with Tad Hamilton, Legally Blonde, Tiziano Bubarini.
He's my favorite old West filmmaker. What else did I... Oh, I watched a documentary. It was delightful. I watched a documentary called Dear Mr. Watterson.
I watched that the other day, too. It's really fucking good.
It's all about Calvin and Hobbes, which is, of course, the greatest comic ever written and will never be beaten. God, I love Calvin and Hobbes. About once a year, I have to get my giant collection out and just reread the entire thing. And it makes me feel so warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that it didn't become Garfield or any other comic, because all those comics now, they're just... How do they keep going? I don't understand. They're ghost mummies. The comics page is written by mummies. We need Brendan Fraser to go fight the comics page. I feel like we mentioned the Mummy franchise a lot on this podcast.
I fucking love Mummy 1 and 2. Like, I love those movies a fucking lot, because I love, that Indiana Jones kind of style movie, and between the first 3 Indiana Jones, the only 3 Indiana Jones, and the only 2 Mummy movies, like, those are fucking great movies. Just throw, the Rocketeer in there, and it's like, I could sleep on that for a week.
Damn.
I remember so little of the Mummy movies, but they were good. They seemed solid when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Fraser.
The first one especially. The second one is okay.
What the fuck is the second one? What happens in the second one?
The second one has CG Dwayne The Rock Johnson as a Scorpion
I felt like that was a different movie entirely. Okay. I felt like that wasn't it.
The cartoon version of the Mummy is based on the second movie, because Brendan Fraser's son gets the Omnitrix from Ben 10 locked on his arm.
Was it the cartoon, didn't it look like the Jumanji?
It looked like all of those generic cartoons.
Because it was done by Klasky Supo.
Yeah.
And they have, the same...
Oh, man. Speaking of that era of cartoons based on movies, I got nostalgia when one of the Thewrongesttrousers posted on Tumblr, or reposted it, the Men in Black cartoon opening, which is super slick.
It's really good. I love that song.
I posted a comment on the video that the scene where the aliens or the people are lined up and then they turn into aliens, I just randomly get that in my head from time to time because it's so catchy. I love the intro to it too. It's the blonde agent lady and the chief guy, and they're just like, look at these pack of fuck.
I'm totally not going to go watch that opening right now.
You can't watch it while we're recording. You'll ruin the integrity of the podcast.
No, shut
So
up.
you guys, you name dropped Jumanji. Would you rather play Jumanji or play 5 rounds of Russian roulette with 5 other people, so only one person walks away?
With a flintlock musket.
I'd totally just play Jumanji and just roll like a motherfucker.
I would play Jumanji without crazy stipulations. Looks fun as fuck. No, you better not run out of the house when bats come out of it and leave me trapped in it.
No, because if you just stay there and just pass the dice and roll immediately, like, you'll be fine.
You gotta, what?
It's like the weirdest speed dating game ever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, what happens when they try to cheat the dice?
He turns into a monkey.
Oh, the little kid does, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember the scene where, like, he's crying because his tail hurts. How do you make pants when you have a tail? I feel like DeviantArt could solve this. And then the one thing I did this week, and actually just finished like an hour before we started recording, was based on Noah's wonderful recommendation from the last podcast. I watched the entirety of Nichijou, which is now my favorite anime. It's
really good. It's
so
super cute.
Good.
And it's super funny.
I have never,
really recommend it.
I've never laughed that much or that frequently watching an anime.
Yeah. You can find it as Nichijou, and you can also find it as My Ordinary Life on like Crunchyroll.
Yeah, go on. Anyone listening to this, if you have some free time and you want to watch something like clever and well made and beautifully animated and funny, and even sometimes it touches your feels, then go to Crunchyroll and search for My Ordinary Life. And you can watch all 26 episodes, because after, like, it builds on itself, and it's got running gags that you'll catch in the background. You want to know the boat? Oh yeah, you haven't watched the whole series. There's a character that's not introduced until the second half, so like after 13 episodes, and then in the last or the next to last episode, there's something about her. It's in the last episode. Something about her is revealed. And you're like, oh, wow, that's great. Like a connection she has to another character. And you're like, wow, that's random. Somebody pointed this out, and I went and looked. She's in the 3rd episode of the anime in the background looking for this character she's connected to. And you're like, holy shit. Like, she was just there, and like nothing brings any attention to her whatsoever. It's just there for like repeated viewings.
There is nothing I love more than just slight winks to continuity.
There's actually a kind of neat one in the Bleach manga that I noticed when I picked up the volume, and I noticed that like there was one background character that seemed slightly more detailed than everybody else. And the who's the guy that does the spirit medium who does like the bohaha laugh and crosses his arms?
Oh, I can't remember his name, but he's the spirits are always with you guy.
Yeah, so that guy, and he's in the manga. I don't know if it shows up in the anime or if they make it a bit more obvious. But in the manga, there's a scene where like he's trying to exercise like a hospital or something.
That's his introduction.
Yeah, his introduction, and like a hollow comes out, and Ichigo has to jump over like the fence and like go all Soul Reaper and stop it. But at one point you see a character in the background who seems like a little bit more detailed, and he's got black hair and glasses. And then when Ichigo jumps over the railing to get into like the hospital area, you see another person have their hand on like the guardrail, and it turns out it's fucking Uryu Ishida.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's I think it's in like the 2nd or 3rd volume.
Yeah, that shit's always spectacular.
Yeah.
A good example of just a gag you might not notice. It's in the same episode, but in Nichijou, there's just because the way the show is set up, it's just like it jumps from vignette to vignette, and there's a shitload of characters with recurring stories. There's these 2 girls that practice kendo, and one of them is mad at the other because the other girl is like a slacker, but she's like so innately good at kendo that she like always wins, and the other girl like practices all the time and is not as good. So when the slacker girl, they're like walking home from practice, so they got their swords with them, And the other girl the slacker girl is petting a cat and is back to the jealous girl. And so she's like, I just want to hit her once with my sword. It'll make me feel better. And so she like very dramatically takes her sword out and like goes to swing it. And the exact moment she swings it, a guy just happens to be riding by on his bicycle. And she knocks the shit out of him and it just knocks him off the bike. And the bike just keeps going in a straight line. And like that's the end of that scene. And then like later in the episode, two girls are walking home from school. And one of them's eating a meat bun and the other one's eating a popsicle. And the girl with the meat bun drops it and they start having this conversation about it and whether they could pick it up and save it. And the girl with the popsicle's trying to be so optimistic. And she accidentally drops her popsicle and she's like, well, I could still pick it up and I could scrape off the dirty part. And then a bike just randomly goes by and runs it over in a split second. And like, if you didn't think about it, but the bike doesn't have anyone on it, and then you realize it's that guy's bicycle still fucking going down the road.
Sounds like I'm gonna have to watch this.
It's fucking great. Like,
how long are the episodes?
It's without commercials and stuff. They're like 23 minutes long.
Okay.
It also does something very, very rare. Halfway through the series, it changes its opening and its opening song. And usually I end up hating the second one, but this one actually has a second opening that I like even as much, if not more, than the original opening. In fact, I just favorited it. If you're the kind of person that looks at my favorites and is like, what's Tenfey looking at? It's my current newest favorite video. So good. Wow. And of course I would have watched it if Noah had bothered to mention that one of the main characters is an adorable talking black cat who's the straight man.
Swagamoto.
I
actually shared that first clip from last week, which I think is the only one we talked about in the podcast.
The deer.
Like, really talked about. But yeah, the deer and the principal with a friend of mine last night. And she lost her shit. It was good.
That scene is funny, but that's not nearly one of the funniest scenes from the entire series. It's just so fucking... There's so many scenes that I literally would just have to go back and immediately rewatch because I was laughing too hard the first time it played and couldn't read all the subtitles.
I will definitely keep that in mind. That's going to be my project for tomorrow.
I also love all the gratuitous English in it. Like characters yelling, "God damn." Example, one of my favorite scenes of that is there's a recurring character who's a teacher and he has a crush on another teacher, but he's too embarrassed to tell her because it would be such a faux pas for two teachers to date. And so he's constantly like peeking around the corner at her and like thinking of stuff to say and trying to think of cool lines in his head. Well, anyway, the first time is he randomly walks up to her and he has this long conversation on his head on how he's going to very subtly ask if she likes gardening and and bring up this conversation. And he just walks up to her and the first words out of his mouth are, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And then immediately he's just like screaming at himself. Well, later on, he finds out one of the students is that teacher's younger brother. And so he's like, I'm going to go up to him and very subtly ask him something that'll somehow relate to finding out if his sister has a boyfriend. And so he just walks around the corner so smooth and he walks up to the student and he just immediately asks the student, "So, is there a boyfriend in the picture?" And the next scene is him laying on the ground screaming, "No future," in English. It's just so great. I love shows like that have a huge ensemble cast that they use. It also does a thing I like where it has like two sets of main characters that for the first half of the series never like directly interact. Like you'll see them in the background of other characters' scenes, but then halfway through the series they kind of combine, and of course it's always epic when they do. Epic.
Yeah. Like something kind of like that actually happens in The Fifth Element.
Oh, really?
Because Bruce Willis's character and Gary Oldman's character, so like the main good guy and the main bad guy, never actually meet.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like, they never actually see each other. The closest they ever get to interacting is, I think, Gary Oldman's character gets on, like, Bruce Willis's ship, or vice versa, and then Bruce Willis also gets fired by
the corporation.
Gary Oldman's character.
Yeah,
like
he
his
doesn't.
Company.
I mean, Bruce Willis doesn't even know Gary Oldman's character in the movie is the bad guy, right? He just knows he has to get the stones to stop the evil.
Yeah. And so it's basically like Gary Oldman's character is the bad guy, but he's basically just sort of like the slightly bad version of Bruce Willis's character, because they're both doing the same basic thing, and they're not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I thought Gary Oldman in that movie was John Travolta.
What, really?
Like the way he looks in that movie, he looks like John Travolta. Look,
God, you say that, and it reminds me of a really sad thing I saw at the pet store.
was it John Travolta and he was holding a puppy and he just was crying?
It was a pair of cats, and their names were Jules and Vince.
That's amazing.
And I really wanted to just get them right there, and I couldn't.
That's the worst thing I do to myself sometimes is I go to the PetSmart that's around here and I walk to over where all the cats are.
It was at the PetSmart, and like for some reason I think I'd feel really bad if they got adopted separate of each other, because they're in like the same like connected like cages.
And they're just because of the way they're named, they know that their names are an homage to a duo.
Yeah, there's Vince and Jules, and they're both really cute brown tabbies.
Well,
I can't
hopefully,
keep talking about this or else I'm gonna cry.
hopefully they don't bring another cat in there named whatever Bruce Willis's character is, and he doesn't.
God.
He doesn't shoot the Vince cat with a silenced Uzi.
That would be quite the turn of events.
What is the book that Vince is always reading in that movie?
I don't know. I've never really looked.
Yeah. Ah, well.
I'm sure it's a quick Google search away.
I think they mention it at one point, but I don't know.
Noah, quickly talk about what's in the briefcase. 'Cause that's not one of the most talked about things ever.
Money, diamonds, a soul.
It's got to be something related to another Quentin Tarantino movie since they're all in the same universe.
It's kind of referenced in Reservoir Dogs, because they open up like the suitcase. Was it? I think it was Reservoir. It was either Reservoir Dogs or Jackie Brown, but they open up a briefcase at one point and it like glows.
It's Ellie Driver's first eye.
Yes.
That's what's in the briefcase. That is. Have both of you seen both Kill Bills? I know Noah has, but Wes, have you seen?
I have not.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Do you give a shit
about it?
if I
Yes.
spoil
No.
something from it?
I generally actively encourage spoilers.
Ah, I see. Anyway, in the second movie, Uma Thurman's character, the bride, has to finish off the last three members of the assassination squad. So Bud, which is Bill's brother, Ellie Driver, who's the lady with the eye patch, and then Bill himself. So she goes out into the desert and finds Bud. He lives in a trailer out in the desert, and a bunch of shit happens. And Bud thinks he's killed her, and he goes to sell her Hattori Hanzo katana to Ellie Driver. So Ellie Driver goes out there to meet him, and she ends up killing Bud because she thinks he's a piece of shit. I've seen that gif, by the way. Noah just linked about Seinfeld. Anyway, she's out there, and she kills Bud, and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, Uma Thurman ends up showing up, and so they both have the samurai swords, and they fucking hate each other, and they're in Bud's trailer, and they're like so poised to fight. It's like they're going to be this so super dramatic showdown. Like it keeps zooming in on each of them, and the music's getting intense. And then all of a sudden, Uma Thurman just does a move she learned from her teacher, where she just super fast reaches over and pulls Ellie Driver's other eye out, so she's completely blind, and then just leaves her in the trailer screaming, running around swinging the katana, and just leaves her to die in the middle of the desert. And that's how the fight
she leaves her in the bathroom of the trailer with a fucking black adder.
Yeah,
like
the black mamba.
Black
Yeah,
mamba.
that's how Ellie killed Bud, was with the black mamba, which is Uma Thurman's character's code name, and it's like the most poisonous snake in the world. So there's one of those in the trailer, and that's what she leaves her in there with. But she's so fucking pissed when she pulls her other eye out.
Yeah, she just starts screaming and thrashing around.
It's the best, because I mean that's the quickest she kills any of the people is when she does that.
It's one of those things where it wouldn't work. Like, that would be such a lame anticlimactic way to end things if there was only one villain. But you give them a nice array of different, people to fucking beat the shit out of, and then you can do something funny like that.
Yeah,
I think
and it stands out for it.
A good, more modern equivalent to that is the scene at the end of Scott Pilgrim versus the World where the Nega Scott shows up. And like, because they just beat Gideon, and like there's been all this shit, and you're like, all this tension is left, and then all of a sudden the Nega Scott shows up, and you're like, oh god, there's going to be another fight, and then it just immediately cuts to them hanging out, and being good friends, and Scott's like, oh him, he's a cool guy, we're gonna go get brunch.
I really like that movie.
Edgar Wright talks about in the commentary about how during test screenings the audience would like groan or like get so agitated because they're gonna like shoehorn another fight in, and then everyone is just like so relieved and laughing as soon as it immediately cuts.
It probably would have been fine as a fight, but it's just funnier the way it's done.
You don't want to end up like the Lord of the Rings, the third Lord of the Rings movie that has like 25 endings.
Yeah.
I remember being in the theater that night that movie came out, and like people actively getting mad out loud at the screen every time it had a false ending because there's like 8 of them. Those movies are too long. God damn it.
I've never bothered to watch them because of how long they are and how little I have an interest in them.
Nah, you're not missing much. Just play the MMO.
I honestly thought you were going to say something about a Lego video game.
Oh, I'll do that too.
Lego has made a video game of everything.
Well, the Lego ones would sum up the plot, and they do it more adorably. Although I hate that the Lego games have voice acting now. I liked it better when they just used humorous pantomime. But that's just me.
The only Lego games I've ever played were the Star Wars games.
Mm-hmm. 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 See, Noah agrees. Or he disagrees.
No, it's the same for me. I only played the Lego ones, or the Lego Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
They're cute.
They're kawaii. All right. I guess we'll do letters now. Oh boy. Oh boy. We have some. They're mostly all from the same person, Brian, with a Y. There is one from Allbert40, the individual that told me about the Leon's jacket thing that I can't make work. So let's see. We'll do a couple of them.
All right.
Boom.
Oh God.
So Brian asked. Oh yeah. By the way, send letters to Tenfey podcast at gmail.com. tenfeypodcast at gmail.com. Just send us a letter. It can be a question. It could just be a comment. You could tell us about how you doing. Tell us an anecdote. Tell us
how your mom's doing.
Yeah, give us a recipe. Tell us something we could do to improve the podcast. Tell us something we need to stop doing on the podcast and that you hate and that it makes your blood boil. Just give us something to work with here. You ain't gotta reinvent the wheel here. It's not a college thesis. But anyway.
If you do want to write my college thesis, you can send that in
If you want to write Wes's college thesis titled Why I Love Dicks, the Wes story, then go right ahead.
Oh, Ben. That's my autobiography for, 20 years from now.
Well,
Come on.
it's about Dick Van Dyke and all these famous Richards from history.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, him too. And Richard Sucker, the actual person that did the Paul Revere ride. But regardless, okay, here's a question from Brian. He says, this varies from person to person, but do you guys have any video game music that always gives you goosebumps no matter where, when you hear it? So while you two think on that, I'll give you my answer, and it's very clearly the intro to Final Fantasy VI. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Where it's Super Mode 7, and it shows the 3 Magitech armor, Terra, Biggs, and Wedge in Magitech armor walking towards Narsh, or Narshi, or however it's pronounced, and it's snowing, and the music starts up, and it's just like do 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 dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Just so you know, I was doing robotic arm motions like Magitech armor the entire time I did that.
I knew it. I know.
You had to be.
No one
I
knows.
was also kind of wondering how long you would go.
Oh yeah.
What was the actual question again?
Video game music that you like gives you goosebumps, that fills you with
Okay.
emotion.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was just like intros or intro
No,
music.
that's just the first one that came to my mind.
I don't really have anything like that. I do have sounds that trigger reactions from me at all times.
Like Pavlovian responses?
Yes, they are they're ingrained in my brain. These are natural responses now. I am always frightened by the regenerator sound from Resident Evil 4.
You mean the...
That shit, that fucking, yeah, that breathing creeps me the fuck out, even when it's, watching you play through it, the two best friends play through it. Doesn't matter. That shit bothers me for some reason.
They have a music that goes with them that I find super fucking creepy. It's like this weird...
The music...
Yeah. Those are...
The music's...
They're the scariest thing in all of Resident Evil, is the regenerators.
The Iron Maiden isn't even fucking the least bit frightening, but just the regular regenerator is scary as shit.
I think the regenerators are only really scary like that first encounter.
Oh yeah, well I mean,
I think
before
after that,
you get
they're
the
not
scope,
really as...
once you get the thermal scope, it's like, all right, now I can handle this. I'll be all right. But when you're like, I don't know what to do, especially your first time playing that game, when you're just like, I'm putting fucking bullets in them, and they just keep getting up, and I'm putting holes in them, and it doesn't matter. It's scary as fuck. And then, of course, for me, especially when I'm doing videos of my Nuzlocke, any Pokemon fainting cry will usually bother me if it's one of my Pokemon.
You have to do one with your mouth right now.
I can't even.
Make one up.
Shit, man, you put me on the fucking
Just
spot.
make a noise, Wes. Why do you do this? Well, that was it. That's a Pokemon thing.
There you go.
There. That's a Pokemon thing because
it's a very human Pokemon.
It is. It's Mr.
It's
Mime.
a Machoke.
Machoke?
Yeah.
I was gonna say a sock, but okay.
Or that one Pokemon
that's just
that looks like an anime girl.
Oh god. You mean all of them in Moemon?
Ooh.
But yeah, that's just another thing that's trained into my mind from doing Nuzlocke for so long now.
Like it's another one of those questions that's kind of hard to just pick something out of it. But I know like the intro to Link to the Past, where it's the Triforce coming in.
Ooh yeah.
And then it starts with like the fanfare and everything.
Shit's fucking immaculate, son.
That's really, really good. And the intro to like the opening screen intro to Super Metroid.
Oh god,
that's
the little baby Metroid going like wee wee.
Yeah.
Oh, why every good game is on the Super Nintendo? Why did they buy?
Because the Super Nintendo was a perfect system.
Couldn't they? I wish they just didn't make any other video game console, and they were just still making Super Nintendo games right now.
I guess I do have one more. I don't know that it's not video game related, but I'm a wrestling nerd, and the opening sound to Stone Cold Steve Austin's entrance theme always just causes me to grin.
It's really good.
Ear to ear.
Just that glass smashing.
Yeah, as soon as it happens, you're like, things are about to be fun for a few minutes in this sad, dark world of heartbreak and despair.
You know what music gets you pumped, or gets me pumped, even though I've never played the games it's from? The Killer Instinct theme.
That's a good, like, getting pumped kind of sound.
I just realized I've never played Killer Instinct. Like, none of them.
Yeah.
Neither have I, but I'm 20. Go ahead.
The God Hand, like, opening screen music is really, really good. And it's not on any of the soundtracks, but it's really good. It gets you really pumped up.
Talking about all this music stuff actually reminded me, I just randomly posted on my Facebook asking friends, like, if they had an entrance theme that played every time they entered a new room or building or whatever, what would it be? And Garrett actually commented on it, of all fucking people, and chose Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's entrance theme.
Nice.
To which I immediately replied, Garrett, you warm my heart. And then I also replied, and it's perfect since The Rock is fucking dead and has been transformed into just Dwayne Johnson. So his theme's totally up for grabs.
Yeah, like I actually had another music. Oh, going back to like the Men in Black. If we're gonna switch over to like other music that gets you really pumped, the fucking Batman Beyond opening music is godlike.
Yeah, that show has a really good intro. So does the original animated series before they changed it.
Yeah,
it's fucking iconic, son. Is that does that originate from that, or is it from like one of the movies?
I think the version that's in the Batman the Animated Series is like, I don't know if it's the same or if it's just kind of like derived from like the 1989 Batman movie.
Good times.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we actually managed to answer a fucking question. It's a goddamn. Okay. Let's see. Olibert 40 has 3 questions hidden in one question. It's so sneaky. What is the most frustrated or angry you've ever been because of a video game? I feel like the newest Tenfey highlight points one out. The first one that comes to mind whenever I think of this is because it's the only time I've ever been told, like by my mom, that I had to stop playing a game. This is 900 years ago when I was in high school. I was playing Star Ocean 2, and I was on the final boss, and he is such motherfucker. And I just kept getting killed by him over and over, and I was just in my room fucking screaming. And like the door opens and my mom is like, "Benjamin, honey, what's going on?" And I was like, "Look at this stupid bullshit." She was in actuality, she was like, because it was like 9:00 at night. She was like, "You need to stop playing that and just play it again tomorrow." And I was like, "Whatever, Ma, you don't understand me and my Japanese RPGs." But I like to think she came in and was like, "Why don't you grind some more, noob? Why don't you learn to play?" And smoke weed every day, and she had a pop collar and a sideways thing, hat on, and was pouring out a 40. And I was like, my mom's so street. Let me guess. Noah's like, it's hard to think of a time I was mad at you.
No, I've got a couple because I have a very short temper.
I've witnessed quite a few of these, and so has YouTube.
Yeah.
But that doesn't compare to the one time when I was replaying Majora's Mask, and I put a hole in the wall.
Ooh. Did Ben drown?
No.
Oh, okay. We'll keep going.
So I was replaying fucking Majora's Mask, and I got like all the masks and everything, and I was in the open field with a single tree, and I was getting the Fierce Deity mask, and I'm using my old original yellow N64 controller. And it has like the controller stick like dust in it, so this thing's been used like forever.
Yeah. And
I was doing that, and I was in the Goron section where you have to roll and do like perfect.
Oh,
like,
that shit is fucking infuriating. Yes, I know. What you're talking about.
And I could not do it. Like I would always like turn slightly and not make the turn at like the right time. Like I would hit like one of the little ramps that's supposed to like auto turn you and just go flying off and shit. And I got so angry that I just fucking whipped my controller to my right. So it's in my left hand. I whip it to my right, and it hits the wall and puts a hole in the wall and like bends the control. It doesn't bend the controller, but like it, like that bottom and top piece of the plastic get kind of jammed together. The thing still works. I still have it, and it still works to this day, but I got so fucking mad I put a hole in the wall.
You saying that, like trying to roll and do things perfect, reminds me of just how mad I would get trying to beat WizPig in Diddy Kong Racing.
I don't think I ever even got that far in Diddy Kong Racing.
It's fucking infuriating. He's a cheating asshole.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I also actually have a spectacularly short temper sometimes. I've had my fair share of rage moments playing some old Naruto fighting game with a buddy of mine, and he'd get on the winning streaks, and the same thing would happen to him when I was on them. Resident Evil 4, in that fucking one room with the fucking one of the first rooms in the castle. where you have to go and activate. You have to go and raise up the lever, and then you have to roll the lever, and you go upstairs, and then you have to put Ashley up on her own and snipe people so that they don't grab her and carry her off. And that fucking room,
The water room.
It took, I think,
fucking time.
I think a whole episode of the TMVA of Resident Evil 4 is in that room because I died so many times. I still can't get through that fucking room.
I'm surprised the playthrough didn't end there.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I think like I always had issues with the water room, but I don't ever think it was that frustrating. It was just kind of like tedious. But no, yeah, the water room's a fucking pain in the ass.
Once you learn how to do it like the easy way, it is super tedious, but you can get through it. But
yeah.
Man, I remember that first time playing through that. That was probably the most annoying part of the entire game for me. And then, of course, being Nuzlocke, since that's most of what I do on YouTube, anytime I lose one of my, like, the few Pokemon I really like in a game, I just want to quit immediately. Like, if you ever see me catch a Nidoran in a Nuzlocke and it dies, don't expect another episode. So I'll be fucking pissed.
It is the only
Especially if
Pokemon
it's
you
male.
like, so I can see why.
It's my favorite Pokemon, male Nido. I love Nidoking that much.
You can't handle a strong, independent Nido Queen.
They're just not as strong.
But they are better in Magic?
Well, and they have higher defense, I think, but they can't give out the punishment as well as they can take it, which might be some weird social commentary. I'm not sure.
That sounds like fan fiction fodder to me.
It's something about how women give birth and they're stronger for it and they can endure more than men.
I see. And men have dicks that let them deal extra damage. Poison barb.
There you go.
All right. Second part of his question is, what is the most memorable scene in the video game that made you cry? I've probably mentioned this before in videos, but I genuinely teared up at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4 when you're at the shitty wedding for Meryl and shits his pants guy Johnny. And at this point, Snake has gone off to die alone because he's fucking a carrier of Fox dye, and he's gonna fucking turn to dust anyway. And so Sunny comes up to Otacon, and she's like, when will Snake come back? And he's like, Snake had a hard life. He needs some time to rest. And I was like, oh, Snake! Snake! Yeah. This is the part where both of you were like, I was too busy fucking 8 broads on a Ford Fairlane to cry at a video game.
I feel like this has come up before. I know, even if this question has come up before and I said differently, there's had to have been times where I've cried at a video game, but for the life of me, I couldn't tell you them now. Like, it's nothing that hit me so hard. Like, I know I got emotional at the end of near the end of, like, The Last of Us, but I don't think I cried.
No.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's kind of hard to pick out a particular moment because there's very, very few games and there's such long amounts of time between them that really, like, get to you. I know, like, I don't know if it was, like, I think it's just more, like, melancholy and, like, a slight, like, kind of, like, tear up over doing the wedding mask in Majora's Mask.
Yeah. That,
like,
God.
Especially, like, if you get to, like, Anju's room and you wait for Cafe to show up and he finally shows up and they do, like, their reuniting and all that, and it's, like, it's really powerful.
I recently was listening to, and I think I added it to my favorites on YouTube, just a long video that's just that music that plays in the last 5 minutes before the moon hits. And, like, God, that is such a sad, grimdark game. Like, the poor mailman who's laying on his bed horrified because he can't leave. Like, all that shit. God, that fucking game.
I guess I'm kind of throwing a friend under the bus here, but I really remember the only time I think my friends ever admitted, Darian, who's been on my YouTube channel before for like 2 videos, the only time he's ever admitted to crying to a video game was the end of the Final Fantasy VII prequel.
Crisis Core for the PSP?
Yeah, Crisis Core. With Zack dying.
Oh god, Zack. It's displayed differently in different mediums, but Zack's last stand and
it's a really good moment.
And like saving Cloud is fucking crazy.
Think what you will of the game, but that moment is really awesome.
I want to play through like an alternate version of 7 where Zack survives and is the main character because he's so much more likable than Cloud. I mean, once you find out Cloud's full story and he comes to grips with it, he becomes a more likable character. But for most of the game where he's just trying to be like a cool guy version of Zack, spoilers.
Whatever, good.
Yeah, he's just kind of annoying. But Zack is just like, fuck this shit. He's like, take care of business, son. Look at my spiky black hair. Look at it.
And there was Genesis, never to be heard from again.
Yeah, all that other shit. Final Fantasy VII. I wish they'd leave the Final Fantasies alone.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is like Resident Evil. I wish they would leave it alone.
I'm
gonna do a video of me crying like the Britney fan, and I'm gonna be like, leave Final Fantasy alone.
The fight with Ganondorf and Wind Waker is pretty gut-wrenching, too.
I've never actually seen that, because I've never played past the Triforce Hunt.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Same here. And I've never watched anybody get past it in, like, YouTube videos, so...
Well, guess what? Next playthrough confirmed.
Oh, Jesus. Well, it's much shorter on the Wii U version.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter.
Yeah, they did a special sale you can get?
You can get a special sale after you get the Master Sword that allows you to just automatically set the wind in the right direction and you go twice as fast.
And they reduced the Triforce Hunt down considerably.
Yeah.
So it would take you 100 less hours to beat that game.
Yeah. That's actually where I got to when I was replaying it on the Wii U, and I just kind of stopped because I got into Wonderful 101 and shit. So
that version of that game led to I watched. Do you guys ever watch Awesome Games Done Quick or Summer Games Done Quick from the live stream?
I haven't watched any of it, but I know what you're talking about.
I never heard of it. So
okay, it's Speed Demos Archive does these charity events. They do one in January called Awesome Games Done Quick, and they do one during the summer called Summer Games Done Quick. And they just line up, it's 24-hour blocks for like a week where they have people who like have world records in speedrunning games. They're all at this big convention center and on this huge live stream where part of the screen is the game and part of the screen is just everyone sitting in a big room. The guys the people, although I don't think I've ever seen a girl in there, live speed run the games while people donate, and they've raised over like $1 million for cancer prevention. So they're like awesome to watch. But it's just so cool because the people talk about what they're doing, and they usually have their friends sitting on the couch. Like if the guy is concentrating on the game, they'll explain the tricks he's doing. And it leads to like all these super hype moments where like a guy has to do some frame perfect thing to skip part of the game, and like everyone gets dead silent. And when he does it, they all lose their fucking minds. But there's like a skip you can do in that new version of Wind Waker where you don't have to fight the giant bird. And the guy was trying to do it, and like it was literally a trick he had learned like an hour before he had started playing, and like he didn't have any time to practice it. And so it's just fucking dead silence while like a room full of 50 people stare at a TV, and then like right when he does it, it just fucking erupts and everyone loses their mind. But if you've never seen any of these, it's Wes and everyone listening, the hypest shit in the world is there's this guy who's super good at Punch-Out. Every year, as a bonus thing, he tries to beat Punch-Out blindfolded from start to finish.
This is the one you linked me to.
Yeah, so it's part.
This I know
This
about.
is what that's part of. Watch that, and then watch another guy do Super Punch-Out blindfolded. It's fucking amazing to watch. You get on the edge of your goddamn seat. I won't spoil any part of it. But you need those two playthroughs, Blindfolded Punch-Out from this year, 2014, and Blindfolded Super Punch-Out. They're fucking amazing. I'm waiting for them to do Wii Punch-Out. They never do that one.
I've checked out a little bit of the blindfolded Punch Out, and it was really good. So
they also do super cool stuff. Like this was fucking amazing as well. They had 4 people simultaneously speed run Super Metroid in a race. So the screen is divided into 4, and you just see what everyone's doing, and like the slightest little mistake, and like somebody will overtake someone and get a little bit further ahead, and everyone's losing their minds, and it's just the fucking hype as shit.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Actually makes me think of, and this was by no means like a professional level speedrun done by, guys, but it was 2012, or went up in 2012, or I think, 4 guys racing through Battletoads with infinite lives because they wouldn't have beat it otherwise. It was Proton John.
I love Proton John.
Yeah, he's really cool. Nintendo Capri Sun.
Faster, Pokey.
Piccolo 44444 and Super Genius. And even if you don't like any of those guys, it's really fun. And I think it's on Proton John's channel. He actually edits in like achievements like you have done, Ben. But he created them like after they played it all, and like they'll pop up whenever somebody finally gets it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I love all
one of the guys.
They have goofy incentives for the challenge if people donate enough money. Another really entertaining one was 2 players, 1 controller GoldenEye. So one person did movement and shooting, and the other person did the C buttons and all the other buttons and aiming. And so 2 guys play through GoldenEye like using 1 controller.
Wow. There's quite a few other like charity streams with video games and stuff. It's kind of become a thing the last few years.
Yeah.
It's nice.
But yeah.
So I just thought of 2 other games that get me emotional. Hotel Dusk.
Monster Girl Quest.
Yes. No, Hotel Dusk.
Hotel Dusk is fucking amazing, dude.
It's really, really good. And I don't know how I missed it, but fucking Walking Dead Season 1 is like really powerful.
You know what? Oh, Noah, you're right. Walking Dead. I'm so excited for the rest of Season 2 to finally come out and see the best friends play through it.
Yeah. Season 2 has been... it's been okay. I don't think it's as strong as Season 1, but it's not terrible.
It's kind of hard to follow up on Season 1.
It's really hard to follow up on Season 1, but I think they're doing an okay job with what they have, and I think there's like 2 more parts to that. So
you mentioning Hotel Dusk reminds me of another game that made me tear up at the end, and that's the super amazing, if you have a DS, you're legally required to own and play this game, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Towards the end of that game, when like everything's coming together and stuff, like it's just so goddamn emotional. There's just one, I won't give you the spoilers of it, but there's one line a character says, which is, somebody please notice me. And like when that came up on the screen, I was like, oh, I'm getting verklempt. And then I had to demand it. I ran into my roommate and I was like, talk amongst yourself.
Didn't a game come out this week that the title of that reminds me of Murder
Ghost, yeah.
Murdered Soul Suspect.
Soul Suspect.
I kind of want to get it, except for the fact that the character looks incredibly douchey. Like, they're going for like that old school, like, noir, like, detective feel, but they've like updated him to be a bit more modern and shit, and he just looks like a fucking one of those fedora wearing douchebags.
Oh god!
I was in Best Buy yesterday,
but there's something about fucking Spirit Detectives that just
seems awesome.
Me. Yeah.
I was in Best Buy yesterday, and I almost picked it up, but I had just blown $60 on Watch Dogs, which is not worth full price, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For anybody who's watched this fucking long to hear my opinion on Watch Dogs. So I will probably try to save up some money and get it, especially when it goes down in price.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Last part of his question.
Oh god, I just noticed the little icon for Murdered Soul Suspect is a fucking fedora.
Of course. Yeah, the final boss of the game is a Christian, and you have to debate him being a stout atheist.
Yeah.
Let's see. Third part of the question. What features do you believe would make any game perfect? One of my favorite thing in games that sadly you don't see anymore because of DLC is I love it when games have unlockable alternate characters and costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you could unlock a boss or something like Virgil as a playable character. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not just the main character like reskinned. If they actually like play different and shit, it's always amazing.
The ability to pause and then select either to skip or continue a cutscene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is probably one of the most important things in a story-based game ever.
I've said before that I'm the only person here who I think has played through most of the Kingdom Hearts games. I could never really go back and play the first one on PS2 because you can't do that, but you can in the second one, and it's so much more difficult to get into it when it's like, I know the entire story of this game.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it again. I want to play it again.
Yeah. Like that's one of the big things I give to the Metal Gear series, or Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Rising, is the fact that you can pause and then either continue or skip a cutscene. It's so fucking nice. I wish every game would have it. I
will say, I have seen the HD re-release of Kingdom Hearts 1 for the PS3 did include skippable cutscenes. So that's a thing.
I know they just said that Kingdom Hearts 2.5 is going to be coming out kind of soon.
I'm not surprised at all since they officially announced Kingdom Hearts 3 was starting development last year at E3.
Yeah.
Which probably will not have an update this year at E3, but expect to see Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah. I'm
Probably
trying to think if there's any
date.
other like core features.
Couch co-op. It's not necessary for every game, obviously, but for the games that like you can only now it's like you play online only. It's like, fuck, dude. I hang out with people in real life sometimes.
Yeah.
Very rarely, but it's a thing I do, and I like to be able to have them bring one of their controllers and us kick back and play games. It's one of the reasons I actually do like Resident Evil 5 a lot. I can't stand playing it on my own, but put a buddy in the room and I can actually have a lot of fun with it.
Oh god, yeah. 5 is almost essential to have a co-op partner.
Yeah, all the enjoyment that I got out of 5 was a friend of mine, me and him, we played it over live, but all we did was play the Mercenaries, and we would just spend hours just picking different characters and different levels and just seeing what we could do, and it was a lot of fun. I hear via Garrett and his brother that the Mercenaries equivalent in the Steam version of Revelations is actually really fun and addictive.
It's pretty fun. I've played it with some friends of mine, and fucking raid mode is actually really cool.
If that goes on sale, I'll have to grab it at some point.
Yeah. It's basically Mercenaries, but instead of just going through like a contained area, you're basically like doing a speed run through the level to go through and kill like all the enemies that you can and get to the end. So basically, you follow like the same basic area, and you still fight like bosses and shit. But it's a fucking co-op, and it's pretty cool.
Alrighty.
If I ever get the equipment to record on PS3, I will probably do Resident Evil 5 with my buddy Tyler this fall.
Son, grab you a Hapage.
If I get a job, I will.
Son, get a job at the Hapage factory and then steal one.
Even if they fire me, they can't prove I stole it. I'll hide it. I'll bury it.
Just
in a box.
Reverse engineer one and build your own.
Out of a broken PC and a fan and a boxing glove.
And a George Foreman grill.
There you go. Everything I need.
You record videos with boxing gloves on.
It knocks out the fat. Apparently I was the fat. That's a Tenfey quote Garrett likes. So we got to wrap this up because we've been recording for like 2 hours and 44 minutes, and it's after midnight.
Yeah.
We got too into it. It got too good to us.
We're going to get together and do like a separate video that's not technically a podcast and just force you to talk about JoJo, Ben.
Oh, Joe.
It's going to happen.
That's such a shame. If only you'd have brought it up earlier, Noah, I could have talked about JoJo.
You son of a bitch. I'm just going to end this call now.
We'll just have to do it next week.
That's how we're starting the podcast, the next podcast.
I'll weasel my way out of it. I always do. That's why they call me Slick Old Uncle Tenfey.
They don't call you that.
They do when I pay them, and they're immigrant workers. They're like, see, his old Uncle Tenfey or something, maybe. I don't know. I can build a deck. Anyone got anything going on? What's going up on your all's YouTube channels that are super popular and always have videos?
Of my dick.
I was looking forward to the next installment.
I don't really have too much going on. Yeah.
So I'll be getting a new mic tomorrow, although apparently my headset works just fine with my laptop. I will probably be testing my new mic with a new Emerald video. So that'll go up tomorrow night or Saturday.
Hooray.
Depends on when I get the mic, because it could be as late as 8 p.m. tomorrow night.
I'll be putting up more Code Veronica X. I'll be putting up that one shot that me and James did. I guess the next, I'll try to make more highlights. I guess the next full video I have to do is the next part of Conquer, because an anonymous person on Tumblr told me they had to have more Conquer, and I was like, well, I'll give them more Conquer then. I was like, I don't think anyone likes this series, but apparently somebody's fucking jonesing. They're just grabbing their monitor, their computer, shaking it.
It's just a Hosier going anonymous.
Well, I could put out anything and Hosier would like it. I could put out a video that was me asleep for 2 hours and Hosier would be like, changed my fucking life, bro.
I'd watch it, but I would watch it in expectation of you to, probably sleep talk. If not sleepwalk.
Could I sleep chalk like Rudy?
Who's got chalk?
The Chalk Zone theme song is so good, and it would be our closing song if I hadn't already decided it's going to be the second opening to Nichijou. So Chalk Zone just got edged out.
I'll write it down somewhere. You can use it next time.
We'll do our own version about Noah, and it's called Cock Zone. Because Noah's got the cock zone. Noah's got the cock zone. Noah, how did you discover the cock zone?
I'm not going to go into that. That's a trade secret.
Damn it. I'll get this out of you one day.
Nope.
One day.
End the podcast.
But nobody said anything funny.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yep. Bye, everybody. We love you. Write us letters. tenfeypodcast@gmail.com. I'm falling down a well.
China shocking me my best friend. ちょっとふざけてみたらもっとふざけ返してくる居心地言ったりあらしない嫌なことあったでそこ忘れちゃうんだいつだってじゃんじゃんやりましょう24時間一緒でも問題ないまるで双子か親子かプロサイムこれじゃみんなする必要がなくなくないそれとこれとは全く別問題喧嘩しちゃった時もかなりへこんだ時も一人でいたいような時もふと気づけば近くにいる品はもろと